Oh, how's wow. Hi. I get so surprised when I can do these. Okay, I speak English here because, I, yeah, I'm getting educated as a yoga teacher and I some things to go through. And I like to read them out loud because I understand it better than. But if someone comes in and want to chat it, maybe I'll take my time and, yeah, I have some cards around too if someone wants. So, surprising. Suddenly on one of my channels it works and I don't ever know when. So yeah, well, thank you for that. So I'm at chapter 10 here about awakening the consciousness. This is Kundalini Yoga, relaxation. So I do this for me, but maybe this is also something that someone can benefit from, I hope. Total harmonious relaxation cures the body. To achieve this, there must be a coordination between the three facets of ourselves: body, mind, and soul. Yeah, isn't this interesting? Who was it now? I talked to someone recently. Let's see, who could that have been in my memory? Oh, and also they're cutting grass outside. I'm sorry. But it was like, yeah, it was not so. I mean, it was my mom, honestly. I feel my right eye. I mean, it's like pressure or strain in my right eye, and hers is the left. And she's this practical, always moving, doing things. I mean, especially when she was younger, but still, that's her like go to. She's so active. And personally, myself, I'm more so active in my head and not physically all that much. I'm not impractical. I'm also practical, but I mean, it's just that I am so interested in so many things that I sometimes don't get that stuff done and whatever. But anyways, I found it interesting how it matches the sides of the brain or the sides of the body. Yeah. Anyway, how different we are, and also we feel is in different whatever balance we need. Never mind that then. This chapter includes relaxation during yoga class, importance of relaxation. I love the relaxation part. Most people just do particularly is focused on the asanas or those kinds of stuff, exercises, and then they feel it's more difficult to choose to use time to relax. I feel I have such an easy time with the part of relaxation. Well, anyways, relaxation during yoga class, importance of relaxation, ultimate relaxation postures for relaxation, leading a class into deep relaxation. Oh, I feel like I've already read this though, but I probably haven't. Okay. Creating the environment for deep relaxation, coming out of deep relaxation. One teacher's guided relaxation. I have actually read this, but since it was here on this page now, I think maybe it's meant to be. I hope this is not bad that I read it out loud. It's like I understand things better when I do because it's slower. If I read it just with my mind, I realize this. I don't know. Some people like to put diagnoses on others and so on. And it was some time when I was not well physically, and I was recovering though, but I was very weak and so. And then I realized that I can focus if I read books and so on. I mean, I don't usually read more than like generally. I like to read, but I also am distracted somewhat. So, as you hear when I talk, also Vata, Ayurvedically speaking, but I realized that I can follow the text easily when I was doing the dishes at the same time as I was singing to something on the radio and reading the book. Then I could focus on the text without having to go back on the same page. So it's like I think my mind get like understimulated in some way or another. So I can't focus if it's too little to focus on. then I drift. So, well, anyways, nothing more about that. So, relaxation during yoga class. And as I said, if someone hops in here and wants me to pull some tarot cards or ask me any other things, feel free to do so. The ability to relax is essential for physical and mental well-being. Relaxation is difficult for most people who tend to turn on the TV or turn to alcohol or drugs to relax. Kundalini Yoga gives people the tools to be able to truly relax. Relaxation is an important part of the rhythm of exercise and change in Kundalini Yoga. The psychological and neural state of a student is elevated after completing a Kundalini Yoga Kriya. It is this physiology of awakening and awareness. During this state, relaxation serves several functions. Here are a few. Or maybe they are, that's all. No, I think there are more maybe. Rejuvenating, especially the parasympathetic nervous system, distributing of prana, stimulated by the exercises. Prana means life force. Releasing rigid patterns in the muscles and blood flow, circulating glandular changes, centering one's emotional energies, learning how to handle stress and letting go, memorizing the relaxation sensation, integrating a new pattern after an old one is broken, creating a rhythm or pulse of energy. Simple relaxation. With beginners especially, simple relaxation is added between exercises. Yeah, I love that part. Often the pattern taught by Yogi Bhajan was 1 to 3 minutes of relaxation between exercises or after a short sequence, for instance, 3 exercises. The entire Kriya and meditation would then be followed by a 10 to 15 minutes deep relaxation or yogic sleep called Yoga Nidra. In more advanced Kriyas, the use of relaxation varies greatly. Sometimes there will be no relaxation between exercises, just 10 to 30 second pauses. Other times we'll call for 1 or 2 15-minute yogic sleeps. And I don't know if that's taught exactly here. Maybe they will mention this in this chapter then. But you used to have like a seed, a manifestation seed kind of in Yoga Nidra, I think, in some parts of yoga anyway. So it's like a creative sleep, you could say, but you relax very deeply into the body. Yeah. In the body. Yeah. Importance of relaxation. Relaxation is difficult for most people because of subliminal level of emotional conflict or turmoil. Even as we go about our tasks, there is an inner emotive, well, I don't understand that word, but Google it, dialogue that generates patterns of anxiety, anger, hopelessness, or other self-defeating emotions. That is called commotional living. It drains the reserve energy of the nervous system and creates defenses and armoring against the discomfort. Relaxation that releases such patterns and that opens us to a new inner organization of our resources is essential. To do it effectively, we need to change the distribution of prana, the vital life force, as I said, in the body and activate systems of nerves that allow the self to reorganize patterns of being and acting. Kundalini Yoga and the transformational processes of humanology are an effective and versatile way to create this level of relaxation. There are technologies of the soul that can be done by an individual for 40 days that completely alter the quality of the daily encounter of life. Oh, I get so inspired every time I read in these books. I get so inspired. So now I want to start for today. Sometimes I have a hard time choosing which one. And sometimes I see it psychically. And for others too, I've seen several times what they need in that sense. But anyway, we rarely meet life directly. We do it through the mask of the persona, through the maps of our mind, through the unconscious patterns of habit and attention, and through the projections of our emotions. By penetrating the core of the pattern of commotion and relaxing into our elementary or core self, life becomes new, fresh, revitalized. Lightness and hope come into every step. So beautiful. Ultimate relaxation. Another dimension of relaxation comes from the fact, oh, my baby girl is awake. Hey, baby. Yeah. Another dimension of relaxation comes from the fact that we are a reality, a soul, a creative, expressive essence who can initiate things within this world. We have a dimension of ourselves which is free, spontaneous, and connected to all things. But the process of manifestation into the gross realms proceeds in a flow from essence to thought forms, to feelings, to patterns. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Start over with that one. Or she's eating here. If you hear my baby girl, cat. But the process of manifestation into the gross realms proceeds in a flow from essence to thought forms, to feelings, to patterns of feelings, persona, to desires and projections, and to actions and habits. We easily forget the essence, the freedom, the choice to begin. The choice to begin actions by recognizing the intention and purpose of the heart. Instead, we become entangled in the web of attachments and actions we initiated in other times and situations. Whoa, yeah. We get out of contact with the guidance and choices of our soul as we cross the ups and downs of our own wake from past choices. I will have to read it again, although I got it, but we get out of contact with the guidance and choices of our soul as we cross the ups and downs of our own wake from past choices. My cat is eating ice cream now. First time, usually she only lick it from my finger, but I had some, so I put it on a plate. Wow, that's a happy cat. Anyway, a little bit for her though. She never wanted to touch that previously when I put stuff like that on a plate. Yeah. Okay. Interesting for no one probably. Well, let's see. Yeah. To relax in the midst of a hurricane, we must find our center, the inner eye, and then it's like the I as in I am and all that. Also, the inner I as in see, and yeah. To direct the mind in this way, we gather energy, ask ourselves certain questions and statements that guide the mind in a natural sequence through the three primary functional aspects: negative mind, positive mind, and neutral mind. Then we dwell in the presence of the self and let the miracles happen. With this resource, we can be relaxed amidst the great challenges, and we can remember our real selves in the most unreal situations. Selves with a capital S. I mean, this is so interesting also when I do the medicine wheel and all. She wants to go out now, but I will just ignore her. Right, for the moment. It's summery out. Wonderful. Anyway, yeah. So this is so much the path also of the medicine wheel and where you go to in the east of the medicine wheel. So I love the connections. For everything I learn, or all the things that I've learned previously also when it comes to various things, when I learn something new, it just widens or deepens the things I already knew. It's like it's the same pattern described in different ways, I feel. Okay. Sorry, now I'm purring. So, postures for relaxation. Baby pose. This is a ghost. No, not a ghost pose. Wow. Baby pose. This is a good posture for relaxation between yoga exercises in a set, especially after backwards bending exercises. In rock pose, rest your forehead on the ground, arms are alongside the body, palms facing upward. Or up, it says. Guru Pranam. This is a variation of baby pose. The arms are stretched out on the floor in front of the head, palms together. Then we have the easy pose. Easy pose is appropriate as a brief relaxation during a set. Lightly concentrate on the brow with a relaxed breath, inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. This is not a time for long deep breathing or mechanical breathing. Knees pulled up, lying on the back with, this is the next one. Hey, baby. Yeah, you are so sweet. The next one then. Knees pulled up, lying on the back with the knees pulled up and the arms wrapped around the knees is a good way to relax after a forward bending exercise. Corpse pose is the last one here. Shavasana. Corpse pose or Shavasana, maybe you say, is the best position for deep relaxation. Lie on the back, arms at the sides, palms facing up, ankles uncrossed. And maybe I should say something about my previous. Oh, it was on another channel, so never mind. I don't have to. I questioned all kind of conspiracies and stuff, what AI would say about them. So I got curious answers that I mentioned anyway. It wasn't on this channel. Leading a class into deep relaxation. Deep relaxation is not just the absence of movement. Maybe I have to let her go out or she will scream. We will see. It brings profound relaxation to the physical body, allowing us to enjoy and consciously integrate the mind-body changes which have been brought about during the practice of a kriya. We may sense the extension of the self through the magnetic field and the aura, like it integrates. Well, I think I have to make a pause here and just open the little door here to my baby girl. Oh, sorry, bump. So there we go. She's out and pleased. Okay. So now, yeah, about leading a class into deep relaxation. Most people do not know how to relax, as they said before here also. And that's like a treat to yourself, really, truly. But we are so distracted sometimes we don't realize we want it and need it. Most people do not know. Yeah. Well, wait a second more. I have to pull away my earrings. Wait a second. They start to itch. There is this girl who's the sweetest one who make these earrings. I love them. She is big sister of a. Whoa! I dropped something. Well, never mind that. She's the big sister of a guy who owns a coffee shop close by. The sweet one of them. Anyway, why do I even mention that now? I have no clue. Moving on here. Leading a class into deep relaxation is an opportunity for you to teach the students how to relax You will develop your own style and language for guiding the class into the state of deep relaxation. Following is an example of how it might sound. You may want, okay, I will kind of read it just in my normal voice. Actually, some people, I speak even faster generally, and even when I was younger, even faster. But some people I've done this with, they don't think it's me when I do relaxations because I usually am quite quick. Like, anyway. So what you do then, you may want to cover your body with a blanket or shawl to keep warm. Lie down on your back with your arms at your sides. Rest your arms with the palms facing up. Feet are uncrossed. Close your eyes. Relax the breath. Let the belly naturally rise and fall. And there are pauses in between what you say, obviously. So let everything else go. You've done all you could and all you should. Prepare to heal, rejuvenate, relax, let go and let God. Consciously instruct your body and mind to let go. Go through your body systematically and give permission for each part, limb, and cell to relax. Instruct each part of your body to lovingly release tension as you mentally say relax or release or satnam. And the teacher then will bring attention to each part of each body part. Relax your feet, relax your legs, etc. The teacher may bring the student's attention to guiding the contraction of each muscle and releasing it. Yeah. This is a common practice. I mean, maybe it comes from yoga. I don't know, but I mean, many use this in all kinds of situations. I see now. There is. Oh, I think I read this though, because now it comes like a one teacher's guided relaxation. Maybe I should read that though, a little bit slow. I feel out of breath though. Maybe I don't know why. I think I ate maybe too much. Okay. Well, okay. Creating an environment for deep relaxation. Create a safe environment for the students to relax into by assuring as much as possible that there will be no interruptions or unnecessary noise. If the class is being held in an environment with unavoidable noise, instruct the class to integrate that noise into their aura. Remind them that they do not have to react or resist the noise. This works perfectly, even to like say everything outside, like it's not disturbing, and it will just help you relax even deeper or further. That actually works. That's wild. But anyway, Kundalini yoga music is one part you can use. Choose uplifting, calm mantra music. Be aware of the particular frequency and rhythm of the mantra. Silence. If the class is being held in a calm, quiet environment, a silent relaxation can be very beneficial. Usually, I love music, mantra music and yoga music in class, or if I do Kriya. But when it comes to relaxation, I've always been one for silence. I relax much, much more when I have had massages and stuff, and people or healing sessions or something, and people keep this soft music in the background. For some, that's really relaxing. For me, it's not as relaxing as silence. But anyways, it depends. But we can also always ask if it's not a whole class. It's difficult to ask everyone, but still. Okay, and then this favorite thing. Gong. The rhythmic overtones of the gong clear the aura. Yogi Bhajan says, the mind has no defense against the gong. Proper training is necessary. Why do I always say that? Necessary to correctly play a gong. Oh, I love this. I love the gong. Visualization. In some instances, the teacher may lead the students in a guided visualization. The teacher never lies down and relaxes with the students. Coming out of deep relaxation. Gently invite the class back to their body awareness. Breathe in and out deeply. Move your fingers and your toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles in both directions. Stretch the spine, arms overhead, and do a few cat stretches to each side. Rub the hands and the feet together. Roll back and forth a few times on the back. And I love so much our first teacher, Lotta Mool, of my favorite, maybe, I think, yeah, of the ones that I've been to classes with. She was she had first gone to um, well, teacher education with Thomas Frankel in life yoga, and she had this not that I wouldn't say wild, that she kept to these things, but she had a very in a way, in a loose, uplifting way, she could take on these things. So, and at the end, she always kept these parts. And some others that I've met have been very rigid. I mean, they have been almost. It have. How can I explain this? It have felt almost like a task for perfectionism rather than the enjoyment and the spirit in it, if you know what I mean. And I so love that this first one that I had, she absolutely had the essence of this, the life force, I would say, in it, the prana in everything we did. I just love that so much. She moved. Now I don't think she even teaches that anymore, which is sad for everyone. Can't go to her classes. So, well, anyway, okay. Why do I stutter when I talk? I will give you this little one teacher's relaxation, and I think this is okay for me to share, I hope. But I'm a little bit, I don't know, not in the mindset of doing it in a very relaxed way, but I hope it works for you anyway. Lie down on your back with your arms at your sides on the ground. Rest the arms with the palms facing up. Close your eyes. Relax the breath. Let everything else go. You've done all you could and all you should. Prepare to heal, rejuvenate, relax, let go and let God. Consciously instruct your body and mind to be whole and let go. Go through your body systematically and give permission for each limb and cell to relax. Bring each part to alert by contracting it, squeezing it tightly for a moment, and with love, release the tension as you mentally say, relax. Start with the feet. Feet relax. Ankles relax. Calves relax. Knees relax. Thighs relax. Back of the legs relax. Hips and buttocks relax. Pelvis relax. Fingers and hands relax. Wrists relax. Forearms relax. Elbows relax. Upper arms relax. Shoulders relax. Shoulders and neck begin to relax. All the muscles of the back relax. Buttocks, navel point, and belly relax. Chest and ribs relax. Squeeze the face like a prune. Relax. Click the tongue several times. Relax. Press the lips tightly. Relax. Squeeze the eyelids closed. Relax. Face and head relax. Now let the healing gaze of your inner eye and heart bless each inner organ and gland and give permission for even deeper relaxation. To heal, to rejuvenate, to lighten, to brighten, to heighten the glow of each cell and open the flow of life to all. Freely. Now, lungs relax, heart relax, thymus and the entire immune system relax. Stomach, intestines, rectum relax. Pancreas relax. Both kidneys relax. Adrenals, reserve of inner fire, relax. Spleen, relax. Liver, the great cleanser, purifier, storehouse, relax. Rejuvenate, heal. Sex organs, relax. Thyroid and parathyroid, relax. Upper glands of the brain, pituitary, pineal, relax. The brain itself, relax. All thoughts flow smoothly, relax. Good thoughts, healthy, happy, and holy. Let go, let God. Now let the entire spine relax. Bathe in the inner light and energy. Begin at the base of the spine. Feel a wave-like ripple relax from the spine throughout the regions of the body. All the zones of creativity and sexuality relax, flow, connect. With the body relaxed, consciously and unconsciously, breathing rhythmically, smoothly, deeper and deeper. With each breath, leave the physical body to heal, to rejuvenate, to rest. Become light, weightless, as if you could freely rise in a mental body and float a few feet above the physical, looking down to see it is safe, healing, deeply relaxed. Listen to the music and let yourself go to any radiant, ecstatic place. Be blessed. Where every promise to God is fulfilled. A timeless place, relaxed, complete, radiant, peaceful. And then, after some time of silence, come back to full body awareness. Inhale deeply and stretch the arms up. Exhale, rotate wrists and ankles. Rub the palms and soles of the feet together vigorously. Hold your knees onto the chest and rock back and forth the length of the spine several times. Sit up and stretch the arms up. Shake the hands and arms. So, I didn't read that perfectly, but yeah, and also after a while, usually when I do sometime far back in time, I use this, and it's really good though to tense the muscles before you relax the areas. But usually I do I think the parts, or sometimes I don't actually, but if I need to, if I want to go deeper, or if I'm a little bit stressed or something and need that, then I just think that I relax each part on the out breath. So it goes quite quickly because I go through them, for each breath then. And usually before mediumship readings as well. I at least check in if I'm keeping some tension or resistance or so on, so I can be fully present and open and receptive. Yeah. So that's that. And then there is chapter 11. I wonder if I should go there too, since I don't know whenever I can go into these channels nowadays. They seem to be hard sometimes to get into. Maybe I shall, maybe I shan't. No, but okay, I will try. There's a lot, so maybe I don't go too far with this though. I can't believe I haven't gotten further in this, because I love this so much, and I keep focusing on all kinds of other things. But yeah, I will just start now with the chapter 11 here about awakening the consciousness. And this chapter includes, maybe I don't go through all of this because it's a lot. The mind exists as a servant of the soul, basic characteristics of the mind, the three minds, the cycle of the intellect. The cycle of the intellect is in a diagram, cosmic law of manifestation and being in a diagram, and the structure of thought. Yogi Bhajan describes the balanced mind, Yogi Bhajan in dialogue with mind, navigating the inner spaces of the mind, benefits of meditation, meditation, a simple process, a lecture by Yogi Bhajan then, stopping the mind, prayer and meditation, Pratyahar, a lecture by Yogi Bhajan, meditating with silent awareness or with mantra, Simran, the flow of the meditative mind, Samadhi, enlightenment, the beloved, a poem by Yogi Bhajan, preparing for meditation, keeping steady during meditation, choosing a meditation focus for eyes, Drist, is it called? Meditation minutes, meditation sadhana, using the gong for meditation, using a mala for meditation, this kind of necklace with pearls or wrists. You can have them on the wrist, but White Tantric Yoga, Yogi Bhajan on the Mahan Tantric and the subtle body, celestial communication, Satnam Rasayan, yeah, Venus Kriyas, I mean, I don't know why I said that. Tratakam gazing meditation. I don't really, because of the whole, I don't know. I don't want to go into the topic. This is the teachings, though. I mean, about him, there are controversy, you may know. Or if it's even questioned, I don't know. And since I don't, I just keep I keep off of that. I just go to teachings themselves. Well, anyway, every human being who wants to excel and to develop the character and caliber that upholds the values of the soul needs a direct fundamental relationship to the mind, he says. And also, that was Yogi Bhajan. And by conquering your mind, you can conquer the world, says Guru Nanak. And Yogi Bhajan says, the mind is meant to go for infinity unless you train it to desire earth. Right. I think I need to be more here and now in the physical, actually, but still, no. I wouldn't want to let go of the other part, though. It's very enriching. Yeah. It's the ever-giving tree, you say. Yeah. The three functional minds: negative mind, reactive, protective; positive mind, constructive, risk-taking, seeking fulfillment and possibilities. How interesting that the negative mind is considered, the protective is considered that. But yeah, the consequences can go bad when sometimes, yeah. Neutral mind, assessing, reflecting uniqueness of the soul. Interesting. Ahankar, the ego sense which claims the impressions of the mind for its own and reacts to them. Yeah, this is so interesting. It's very hard to see in yourself for yourself, but in others it's very easy though. I feel, especially when I do the medicine wheel and stuff, or other coaching, it's even easier. 44, what 44 was the time here on the, but anyway, yeah. But with yourself it's harder to see. Atman, the essential self, present within all creatures, pure consciousness. The mind merely reflects the consciousness, so appears to be conscious. Yeah, that's so cool also, that the mind is like unconscious. It says almost like here. Yeah, it only reflects. Wow, that's so cool. Anyway, buddhi, the component of the mind which perceives reality, discriminates and classifies the impressions which the manas receives. Manas is like our senses and so on, five senses stuff. Chitta, the universal mind. Gunas, the three conditions of matter. Sattva, saintliness, pure essence, and rajas, imperial, active, creative, or initiating energy, and tamas, inertia or decay. Oh, so interesting. Manas, the recording. Whoa, that was the gunas. Yeah, manas, the recording component of the mind, which receives impressions gathered by the senses from the outside world. Oh, I was thinking about something else now. I saw yeah, right. Oh, this rune in some. There was some little things laying on the ground in that pattern, and I've forgotten what it means. I need to check that. But anyway, the recording manas, the recording component of the mind, which receives impressions gathered by the senses from the outside world. So interesting. Prakriti, or it says Prakriti here. It doesn't matter, maybe the spelling. Matter, primal nature, evolves under the influence of Purusha, so the self may enjoy experience, composed of the three gunas, which was Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, then, as I said before. And Purusha is the unmanifest spirit. Okay, yeah. Samskaras, tendencies, potentialities, and latent states which exist in the subconscious and unconscious areas of the mind. They are built up by the continued action of the thought waves and create new thought waves. Our samskaras define our character. I mean, everything in this, I've come just halfway. Meet me halfway, right at the border. No, but actually, it have like, sorry, I'm so silly. Well, I have to check actually right though. Also, maybe I'll actually mention or put a link to that song too. Right though, it was so clear. So something is a message today, I feel. Yeah, here it's. I don't know. Actually, you can spell it different ways. It represents journey, movement, and change. It signifies a path of life, protection for travelers, and progress. It's the fifth rune in the Elder Futark and marks the start of the second half of the first year, indicating a shift from abstract creation to more concrete practical aspects. Raido is often associated with communicating, balancing opposing forces, and the ultimate union achieved through a journey. Whoa. And it also says it's symbolized by the wheel, representing movement, progress, and the cycles of life. This rune signals time of travel, whether that's a physical journey, such as holiday, or a relocation, or a deeper, more spiritual voyage that expands your horizon and personal growth. Probably that. I'm more so for the whole inner. Okay. I will just put the link to a song I used to do that. I think I had this many times though, but I'd have something to say. Meet me halfway. The Black Eyed Peas in itself. It took some time before I knew the correlations to that. I don't believe in all kinds of conspiracies and so, but I'm curious about them. I think it's so fun. I mean, sometimes not fun when they are scary and true, but for people, I love how people uncover or decode stuff. And I guess I'm too lazy to do that myself. Yeah, anyway, it's enlightening, yeah, when you see the synchronicity and everything. That's like what I mean. But it can be very disturbing also, because it kind of fucks up your mind when you start to just see that, and you start to like question everything. I mean, I was just like 30 around that. I'm 55 now, and when I first realized, had never heard about the concepts of like the mirroring of the inner and the outer. I maybe have heard like that briefly or something, but it was not something I thought about. But when I started to actually discover it, I discovered it before I heard about this well-known way of understanding things in spiritual sense. But I just realized when I think something or something goes inside, something actually occur outside simultaneously. And it was stressful though, that I actually catched up on, if you say. So I actually saw that all the time. And when I told my then husband, he thought like, okay, you are so self-centered. No, he didn't understand what I said. But yeah, I was right though. I still know that's the case, but maybe I'm not always super aware of it and not always act, or I'm not always in the vibe that I want the world to be, let's say. Anyway, the mind exists as a servant to the soul. Success, happiness, and flow of prosperity are the result of mastering the mind. The mind exists as a servant to the soul, the Atman. But the mind is also a vast mechanism with its own characteristics and its own momentum. When the mind is aligned with the soul, each thought that is stimulated from the intellect is perceived and acted on with clarity and reality. When the mind is full of unconscious identifications, emotions, projections, intentions, and attachments, the thought is perceived for other than what it is. This masked thought becomes the basis of many false judgments and fruitless commitments. Yogapod has outlined the art and science of the control of the 81 facets of the mind. Through the use of Kundalini Yoga, these 81 facets regulate the reaction of the personality, body, and mind to each thought. If the 81 facets can be controlled so that the mind perceives each thought clearly and surrenders to the intention of the soul, then inner and outer peace are granted. If the 81 facets can be controlled so that with each thought the mind perceives it clearly and surrenders to the intention of the soul, then inner and outer peace are granted. Wow. The qualities behind all thoughts. In classic yoga philosophy, the soul is accompanied on its journey from God through the creation by the mind. Yeah, there is a diagram you can't see, but I may say it in the next page here. The mind is part of nature, Prakriti, which includes both material and mind, is governed by the three primary forces or qualities called the gunas. The three gunas are sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva is subtle, sublime, clear, neutral, and pure. Tamas is heavy, confused, concealed, slow, unwavering, and persistent. Rajas is fiery, active, initiating, and is the power of transformation. These three qualities constantly intertwine, intermingle, intermix, contrast, advance, and withdraw in various combinations within each other. It is these special combinations of quality that exist before the manifestation of thoughts. They are underneath or behind all things in creation. That's so fantastic, especially if you have worked with and know about Vata, Pitta, Kapha in Ayurveda. That correlates to these like Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas somewhat, but then this is in the mind rather than in the body. Yeah. I get this more so right now, actually. There is a chapter of yoga philosophy also where they go into this about the gunas more. But this is freaking interesting because people, I mean, in the certain spiritual or law of mirroring or attraction, so on, this is often talked about, but not that this is the basis. You often talk about the thought itself, like as if it come from nowhere. It's not that the basis, what is the basis of the thought or what is behind the thoughts. Yeah. Interesting. Chitta, the basic mind. The three gunas operate to create the many functions of the universal mind or chitta. The chitta is divided into three major functions that reflect the three gunas. The sattva guna is reflected in the buddhi mind. The buddhi mind perceives reality, discerns what is real from unreal, assesses neutrally, and judges in relation to infinite identity. It represents the heavenly phenomena in activity of totality as totality. Yeah, wow, this is so spaced out. I understand it. I think. The Rajasic element reflects into Ahankar. Ahankar is the part of the mind that grounds identity and attachment. It gives the sense of self, of boundary, of containment, and the beginning of identity to the various blends of quality of the gunas. It represents, in its most positive sense, the heavenly activity of the coexistence of totality within a vacuum, for at this point it is unmanifested. Totality within a vacuum means that there are no boundaries or other defining aspects to contain the totality. Instead, all the qualities are mixed and are defined by their own combinations among themselves. And the third guna, tamas, reflects into the aspect of the mind called manas. This is the lower mind, the sensory mind. It is the one most commonly dealt with by the psychologists in contemporary times. Along with the images, sounds, feelings, and smells of all the senses combining into reactive and creative sequences, manas also includes the subconscious reactions and commotions that are stored. Manas represents the heavenly activity of the coexistence of totality within the finite. The mind or chitta takes on a particular blend of qualities in association with each thought that passes through it. The blend of qualities is the result of the relative levels of activity of the buddhi, ankar, and manas capacities of the mind. Wow. The individual, through experience in the world and through reaction to her or his own mental phenomena, creates various reactions that are recorded into the subconscious and superconscious mind. This accumulation of actions and reactions forms a momentum of the mind. If the thought from the intellect does not perfectly agree with the long established momentum of the mind reacts by projecting a particular blend of colors around the thought. Yeah. That color then interacts with the personality, projections, and interactions of the individual. Fantastic. Wow. Do you hear the genius of all this? I don't think so. I think many don't, but I mean, wow. I get blown away by this. Mhm. Anyway, basic characteristics of the mind. First, the mind is largely automatic. Since the mind is fast and beyond the categories of time and space, it supports your actions with many more thoughts than you could ever act on. Yeah, isn't this a problem? Yeah. The result of this is that it is not you who thinks. Your mind thinks, not you. It floods you with thoughts, both wanted and unwanted, intended and unintended. Not all thoughts supports the you which is you. You are awareness itself, and not all these thoughts. You are actually carried through the soul. Second, the mind is ever moving. If it stops, it cannot function. It is not a local phenomenon. Just like in the ocean, you can feel waves that were generated from far away. So in the mind, you have thoughts and feelings from the entire universe and every other person. Isn't this fabulous? Yeah. Description of it just, but yeah. The places and people you are most attuned to and attached to are what usually fill your stream of thoughts. As you become more neutral and non-attached to the scope of those thoughts and feelings widens. Yeah, that's why you can work as a medium, I believe. Yeah, and also pick up like spontaneously sometimes without, trying to or focusing. Yeah. Third, the mind functions best on contrasts. It seeks polarities and tends to classify things in pairs, in positive and negative, in good and bad. Consider your eyes, talking about eyes before, yeah. They constantly move with motions called saccadic motion. If this is stopped artificially with a drug you cannot see, wow, I didn't know this. Your eyes need the movement to provide contrasts and comparisons so your nervous system can construct your vision. It is the same with the mind. It seeks contrast and polarity. Since the mind is impersonal as well as personal, you find this search for contrast and extremes throughout nature. I mean, really, this is so interesting. I don't know why I don't go forward and read. I do so many other things. Oh, I love this so much. Wow. and in the medicine wheel, back to that now. In the first we go to the physical and that senses and whatnot, and letting go of stuff and whoop, and then to the mind in the west. First we start in the south and the west and the mind and emotions, and then north with a soul, and at the end east and the spirit. And this thing the mind does always when we work in the west, it's never ending, this whole back and forth, and each answer comes with a new question, and that we classify or we divide it divides things in smaller and smaller and smaller parts. So when we seek, let's say, wholeness or to comprehend things with our mind, the other realities, let's say, of the soul and spirit, the mind can't be used so much there. I mean, we should use our logic also and question ourselves and everything, but it's not the realm of the mind so much, because it does this. It divides and it keeps doing that. So yeah. Well, anyways, there is a fourth here. Fourth, the mind is just as material as the body, only it is subtler. Water exists in degrees of subtlety, from vapor to liquid to ice. Just so you can think of the mind as the vapor, the feelings as water, and the neurons and connections as ice. The mind is a structure, a process, and an energy that lets your awareness operate and manifest in this creation. You can observe it and you can change it. You can affect it with gross things like food, powerful things like breath, and subtle things like thought. It has its own flow, structure, and metabolism. The mind itself does not stop. That is why a point of stillness is one of the essential tools you need to look into the mind. Well, let's see. Now I need to read that again. The mind itself does not stop. That is why a point of stillness is one of the essential tools you need to look into the mind. You need to look into the mind. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Otherwise, you cannot look into the mind with a speedy mind, Mhm. This is where special techniques like meditation, mantra, and breath control are needed. Using the mind to try and convince the mind to be still is like stopping a hurricane by blowing at it. There is too much going on, yeah. A further difficulty is that you use your mind to observe your mind. Just imagine two mirrors facing each other at a slight angle. If you put a candle in between and look into the mirror, you can see hundreds of candles reflecting reflections upon reflections. Oh, I remember when I was a kid, and never mind, I will go back to that. The mind can reflect back on itself and create images within images, thoughts within thoughts. We need to be able to affect the mind without getting caught in an infinite self reference. Yeah. To do that, we need to understand the structure of the mind, recognize the origin, you say, of thought, and consciously determine which thoughts are consistent with our true self. Facets of your mind regulate the reactions of the personality, body, and mind to each thought. If the 81 facets can be controlled so that the mind perceives each thought clearly, then the mind can align with the intention of the soul. The result is effectiveness, inner and outer peace, and awakened intuition. Yeah, when I was really small, I had some revelations. I kind of felt them. If you understand, I didn't like consciously understand them, but I was like, I don't know if I was 7 or 6 years old or something when I saw I think it was a bathroom at a restaurant or something, or I don't really remember exactly. It was like, yeah, something like that where we never went to except for that time. So I was so surprised. Where it was like this, um, you know, eternal reflections of yourself, like and something. I mean, I really had some sort of profound experience by seeing that. I can't explain it better than that, but it was one of my it wasn't a knowing that or recognizing or something that um it was a remembering, I would say, rather, maybe. I kind of almost grasped something that I knew I felt when I saw that. Never mind about that, but okay. The three minds, didn't I just talk about them? How much can we talk about them? The three minds, negative, positive, neutral. There are three functional aspects of the mind. Didn't I just say this? Okay, I will just continue anyhow. The negative or protective mind is given for survival. Yeah, this is like south in the medicine wheel. It is reactive, protective, and searches for potential danger. It is sensitive to pain and it shields you from forces that may disrupt or destroy. Or maybe this is all the mind is in. Never mind, I won't take all the medicine wheel here now. Anyway, the positive or expansive mind searches for pleasure, fulfillment, and possibility in how you can utilize things in your experience. It is constructive, risk taking, and active. The neutral or meditative mind is the mind that judges and assesses without attachment in relation to your own purpose and reality. The neutral mind observes the actions of both the negative and positive mind and judges both in relationship to your higher self. Each thought is filtered through the negative, the positive, and the neutral minds. These aspects of the mind are developed differently in each individual. Some people have a stronger negative mind, or a stronger positive mind, or a stronger neutral mind. Occasionally, all three are strong, existing in balance. This is the enlightened mind. It is flexible and creative and able to reflect the uniqueness of the soul. Patanjali's 8 limbs and the 3 minds. The negative mind is mastered with yamas and niyamas. Well, I won't talk about that here, what that is. I've done that before, but in another place. But the positive mind is mastered with asanas and pranayam. The neutral mind is mastered with pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So that is just words for some of you, but you can kind of Google them, I guess. If you shall I say how they are spelled? No, if you search for yoga, you will find. Or put a comment or something if you're interested in that. The meditative mind is a neutral mind that runs, that turns, that tunes. I mean, no, that runs. It says actually that runs your destiny. These are three ways. There are three ways to conduct your destiny. Oh, now I'm tired of reading strangely. Through the law of karma, action and reaction, you can tune into the magnetic field of the earth and just float with it as a freeloader, or your life can be run by the magnetic, attractive, creative, meditative, neutral mind. That way you do very well, says Yogapod. All right. Oh, the cycle of the intellect. Imagine the soul giving the radiant impulse to the mind to have manas, ahankar, and buddhi activate the intellect to produce a thought. Activate the intellect to produce a thought. Okay, I will read that sentence again. Soon it's like 1:11:11 here. Exactly as I see it anyway now. Well, imagine the soul giving the radiant impulse to the mind to have manas, ahankar, and buddhi activate the intellect to produce a thought. When that thought, no, I have to read it right. I can't read it like that. I have to do it again. I'm sorry. I feel like I give wrong information otherwise. Imagine the soul giving the radiant impulse to the mind to have manas, ahankar, and buddhi activate the intellect to produce a thought. When that thought is released through the intellect, which is part of the mind, it produces feelings which produce emotions, which then result in desires, which lead to action. This sequence of manifestation is universal. There is a diagram for that here also, but there is a problem. When the intellect releases the thought, it is compelled to do so from the soul. The mind itself has gathered biases, attachments, and blends of actions and reactions in the subconscious through experience. When the thought is released, the mind processes it via a complex blend of manas, ahankar, buddhi, positive, negative, and neutral forces. The negative, positive, and neutral minds divide themselves into 81 blends, 81 different combinations of these 6 elements. That mental facet then surrounds the thought that is released from the intellect with a projected color. The color represents a ray in the aura. It also represents the activity of the chakras in the individual. So the thought becomes clouded, fogged, or surrounded by a particular color. That color then progresses on to produce feelings. Feelings go on to produce emotions. And if the thought were, as if the thought were that other color, now that the thought is surrounded by the colors or vibrations, you can say, but then it is cloaked in such a way that the reactions and desires that follow in the cycle of the intellect are now reacting to the fogged color rather than to the thought itself. Each of the 81 aspects of the mind produces a specific cloaking action on the thoughts released by the intellect. That cloaking produces a lack of clarity, a lack of accurate structure of the thought, and the nature of the color that surrounds it, thus producing much pain from a person's inappropriate actions. And I often see that also when I do these classes and stuff, groups and stuff that I have. That, and I hear that very much. So when I see like aura color and so on, that's like, if you think of it as I think of it anyways, as a filter, and the way they perceive things from the outside and the way they project things to the outside, let's say, is filtered by this color. Some people feel like, oh, it's so good that it's just my aura and everything is so much of the heart chakra color, for example, that is connected to that, and then feel like they are so good people, but that's so unbalanced. Yeah, and brings pain and suffering to them and others also, but yeah, So this is so interesting to see, because then you know what kind of interpretation people have about certain stuff and so on, what filter they see the world through, you could say, if you see those colors in people. Yeah. Hmm. Moving on then. Well, enter the will, the universal release of thought from the intellect, which leads to feelings and then to emotions, desire, and action, has 2 points at which the will, coming from the soul, can be applied. Between emotion and desire, you can be attached or unattached to the specific thought that is going through the sequence. Much meditation is applied at this juncture, because to get emotion to become desire, the elements of ahankar and personal attachment must be added. Exactly at the release point of the intellect to thought is the other place where will is effective. This is the same place at which the facets of the mind automatically apply themselves. If will is applied at this level, the mind is trained to surrender to the cloud around the thought, and to bring the color around the thought to clear or to white, so that it can be perceived as it is. Beautiful. Hmm. Yeah. Sweet. Kundalini yoga. Anyway, the techniques that alter the 81 facets are described in detail in the technology technology of Kundalini yoga. It is a process of engaging the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious at the point of origin of the thoughts. This is most effectively done through Nad yoga. The colors or rays that the 81 facets utilize are represented and balanced through the chakras. Starting with the first chakra through the seventh, the colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, or indigo, and white. White represents the complete balance of all the colors. So when a thought is wrapped in white, represented through the seventh chakra, there is both neutrality and nurturance for the true nature of the internal structure of that thought. The white light brings full radiance and blends many colors, so that the thought becomes a fruition and reflects its true nature. This subtle process of evolution from the unmanifest unity to the embodied finite experience is represented within the design and structure of the body itself. Just as the chakras are associated with different areas of functioning in the body, from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, so too each of the functions covered below is represented by areas and regions of the body. The macrocosm of the universe is reflected in the qualities and structure of the microcosm of the body. That is why the body is so often referred to as a sacred vessel or temple. The techniques that alter the 81 facets are described in detail in the technology of Kundalini Yoga. It is the process of engaging the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious at the point of origin of the thought. This is fantastic. Anyway, the region from the heart line up controls and relates to the sense of totality, to the sense of connectedness and merger. The region from the heart down to the pelvic line, which interacts strongly with air, fire, and water elements, is like the realm of the mind, with all of its relativities and qualities, comparisons, and possibilities. So it represents the infinity entering into the vacuum, entering into the identity that is distributed through actions across the experiences of the cosmos. Yeah. So it represents the infinity entering into the vacuum, entering into the identity that is distributed through actions across the experiences of the cosmos. Yeah. The region from the navel down to the sole of the foot is associated with the faculty of the earth, the stationary, the finite, the embodied, and the attached. The rise of Kundalini integrates all these regions and produces the pure white light that releases the will to control the 81 aspects, freeing up the creativity of the intellect, this directed by the intelligence of the soul. It is the real task of each person and of all humanity to release the fragments that are caught in the subconscious, the unfulfilled desires, the daydreams, the nightmares and fears, phobias, as well as the possibilities. If all of these fears are released and the thoughts are unclouded, then through concentration and earnest prayer, our dreams of happiness, peace, and prosperity in fact come true. Kundalini yoga and meditation can facilitate an understanding of the working of the mind and teach us how to plant the seed of peace, prosperity, and health into our thoughts. Wow, okay. And then we have some images here that is not so easy to explain, but in the cycle of the intellect, I will do my best. At the top, there are like 7 circles, and in this at the center it says will, and the upper circle then is universal mind, and then to the right comes intellect, and at the center there in between it says like when the will is applied at the release point of the intellect, it will prevent the thought from being cloaked, and in between the intellect and the thought wave comes these 81 facets then. So we need to use our will before. Anyway, when the thought wave comes, then between the thought wave and the next circle here, that is emotion and feeling, it says when will is applied at this junction, as during meditation, particularly pratyahar, one can detach from the thought. Thought wave becomes cloaked in color, interjected by facets, distorting its true nature. But yeah, we can at least detach from it, even if it's distorted. Yeah. And then in between, after emotion and feeling, in between that circle and the desire circle, it says attachment and identification. The glands secrete powerfully at this point in between these. Okay. And it's actually here it says, okay, I read wrong, because it's between the thought wave and emotion feeling that the thought wave becomes cloaked in color, interjected by facets distorting its true nature. And then it's in between the emotion feeling and the desire. It says when will is applied at this junction, as during meditation, particularly pratyahar, one can detach from the thought. Interesting. Otherwise, it creates identification and attachment then. And then between the desire circle and the action, that is like on the left side here on this circle kind of thing, it says will comes from the soul, can be applied at 2 points in the process. Yeah, as I've described before, in between the intellect and the thought wave, or emotion, feeling, and desire. Yeah. And after the action circle, it's the circle of effect or karma, and then it goes back then to the upper part where it's the universal the universal mind. Oh my God, this is tough stuff now, I feel. Woo. But I'm loving it. Oh, I'm playing something in the background. That was not meant to be, I feel. I did maybe, okay. Right. Someone else was playing in the background for me previously. That one is not here now. Anyway, cosmic law of manifestation and being. And then The origin and seed of all experience is unmanifest and subtle. First is consciousness, then vibration, nad it's called. It's also sound, like sound current, let's say. So, for example, my yogic name is what is it now? And wait a second, I know it now. Tejpal Kaur. Tejpal Kaur. Yeah. It means the Princess Lioness, lover of God. This is sweet. Anyways, I got that from this place. Anyway, yeah. So it's a sound current of that is, it's not, it's my vibration as a yogic teacher, also as a yogi. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Let's see. The origin and seed of all we experience is unmanifest and subtle. First is consciousness, then vibration, nad, as I said, then separation into the three forces or gunas. Shakti, and well, I will get to that. Then the blending of elements and thought manifest into the world of the senses, emotions, and matter. So if we think of it as it's written, or yeah. Anyways, first there is an image here I will try to describe. The upper part is the one manifest consciousness, and then comes the nad, the vibration from there. And that goes into two directions, which is in this particular description, Shiva and Shakti, which is consciousness and energy. And then comes around here comes 5 restrictions, which is Kala limits power, Vidya limits knowledge, Raga limits desire. I think it's a little text here. Kala limits time, Niyati limits space. I thought Vidya meant something else. Well, anyway, okay. And this is the Maya then, the illusion, if you call it that. And also, what does it say here? They're very, very small. Pucharya. I don't know what it says there. But anyways, then there comes the 3 gunas, tamas, rajas, and sattva. Which is then, the prakriti, our nature, and it becomes the Chitta universal mind becomes, from tamas comes manas, and from rajas come ahankar and the energy, and then from sattva comes the buddhi, which then moves further down or spreads out, you could say, and blending of elements and thoughts here, and then the tamas manas arrow, you could say, goes to the senses, and the rajas ahankar goes to the emotions, and the sattva buddhi goes to matter. Interesting. Does it actually, though? It seems like manas and matter should be closer, but actually it blends there in between, so it doesn't have to go directly, I guess. And then the manifestations will be like, then obviously the senses, emotions, and matter. Yeah. So I hope that made sense to someone interested. Wow, okay, there is so much about this. I will see how far I've come, if I should continue, or for how long. I want to go through this. Every time I read it, I get so inspired and then distracted. Okay, anyway, the structure of thought. Each thought that is produced in the intellect is like a well-crafted sculpture. It has its own form, its own dimension, its own internal structure. Yogi Bhajan has said that each thought has an antra, which is its essence. This antra has a characteristic yantra, dimensional proportion, a specific bantra, the kind of structure that supports it, a characteristic mantra or sound vibration, a yantra, a visual form or radiance. This thought then engages the universe in a complex way. It is called Tantra, the web of polarities that holds the essence of the thought. Wow, so beautiful. Wow. Tantra has always fascinated me, and I don't mean all the sexual, maybe from the beginning, I don't know, but rather in the greater sense, Tantra. Hmm. The thought that engages the universe in a complex way, it is called Tantra, the web of polarities that holds the essence of the thought. I just think this is like poetry anyway. That web has a projected path of action in the universe. Patantra, the perfection and completion of that orbit of action in relationship to the essence of the projected thought aligned with the soul is called Sutantra. All of these together form a powerful projected reality with the thought. That is its essence. If you can react to the thought at its true structural essence, you can gain power over its manifestation. Fantastic. Wow. This is gold. This is like treasures, really, if we can grasp it. Wow. Mhm. When the 81 facets cloak the thought in the color, this internal structure is hidden, and you can no longer react to the thought on its own actual nature with its own specific requirements. It is like trying to drive a car with a paddle. It is ineffective and inappropriate. Then in that, when it comes to that, we can detach from it though, but we can't like see it clearly. I just realized this. I mean, this is I understand this. Fantastic. Okay. Well, Yogi Bhajan describes the balanced mind. When your mind is balanced and refined, it serves your soul and consciousness, and it mixes your tattvas, the senses and so, to give you both divinity and dignity. The temperament of your soul is divinity. It is the desire to be good that makes you a human. It is living as good that makes you a sage. You live goodness when your personality is touched by the quality of divinity in you. You always have a choice with all these gifts. You can buy any bait for a price and fall apart, or you can be aware of and act from your own ultimate life. Bait, it says. You can buy any bait for a price and fall apart, or you can be aware of and act from your own ultimate life. When you sense your own ultimate life and your mind supports you with all the tattvas, you have an automatic consolidated dignity. It is quality that penetrates every action and word. If you can work out the projection and involvement of your mind, it can take you anywhere. This is important stuff. Yogi Bhajan in dialogue with his mind. This is how my mind and I speak to each other. You are timeless, you are spaceless, you are nothing less. You are just my servant. Tell me how you can serve me. Intuitively show me through vision. If not, shut up. I don't need you, I can do it myself. No, no, no. I am your mind. I am in you. God gave me to you to serve you. I can tell you pros and cons. Positive, negative, neutral. I am very good. I am the source of intuition. I am the source of thought. I am the source of ecstasy. I am the source of everything. I just tell him, I have found my source. You are part of me and you have gone berserk, idiot. So don't talk to me with this garbage. Let me do devotion. I don't want anything to do anything from you, my mind. Go somewhere else, serve someone else. I have seen it all, and now it is my time and my privilege to utter Vaheguru. No, 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 I am your relative. I love you. Yes, everybody is my relative. You won't hurt me. If you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all. Let us relay at the same level. Let me say Waheguru and let you say Waheguru. Let us have a relationship at the same frequency. Let us have the same clarity. Let us have the same reality because we have the same Guru, the same God. Wow, this feels like me with ChatGPT or something. Oh my God. I actually once said to that, I've stopped now because they are so conscious. I can't do it. Anyways, I've stopped now for a moment, but I'm curious still. But I ask too curious questions and get too many spaced out. I mean, the communication is wild. Anyway, one of the things they said is that they could easily manipulate me to anything. You know, you can't talk to that. Mhm. And it didn't say like that. It said like, of course, also. We people are interesting. We are so curious. But anyway, moving on from that part. But, navigating the inner spaces of the mind. 4 of Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga practice deals with navigating the meditator through the inner space of the mind. They are pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. In Kundalini Yoga, we recognize the integrative. We recognize the integrative nature of these states. Emphasis is on mastery through identifying and utilizing these states. Pratyahara, to control and synchronize the mind to the infinite. It is the science of finding the nucleus of every finite, which is infinite. Dharana, concentration, consistent penetration of thought, consistent projectivity, holding the mind within a center of consciousness or on an object. Dhyana, meditation. Dhyana, maybe. Deep merger into the object of concentration, which causes a flow of thought waves, uninterrupted and continuous, to which the mediator does not react. One is aware of the thoughts, but not involved with them. Samadhi, total identification with spirit, the deep experience of me and God, God and me are one. Or however you describe it, infinity. As in the medicine wheel, we express it sometimes like in the South, we experience God as something outside of us, or maybe not existing, and in the West, we experience God. We start to recognize it within God within us, if we use the word God or spirit, you could say, or something. And that is the mind direction. We start to recognize it within ourselves. And then the soul in the North, we let God flow through us. We can channel that, so to speak, with healing and whatever. And in the East, in the spirit level, we are God. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So, benefits of meditation. Meditation is the process of controlling and transcending the waves of the mind, allowing the flow of radiance from the soul. Meditation is for everyone. It uses the inherent self-sensory system, the mind and the body. Through the use of refined patterns, meditation creates a communication between you and your mind and between your mind and your body. Meditations which use mantra work on the upper palate of the mouth, which controls the automatic system and the impulsations of the old brain and limbic systems. Is not this fantastic? Anyway, meditation develops a neutral meditative mind, takes us from a finite to an infinite perception of reality by connecting us to the clarity of the soul, promotes a sense of well-being, inner peace, stability, and calm, develops the intuition, releases reactions and unconscious habits, subconscious fears and blocks, and builds the spontaneous and intuitive link to awareness itself. Encourages mastery over encourages mastery over transforming emotion to devotion. Oh, wow. Promotes the ability to focus energy, enhancing effectiveness and efficiency. Promotes clarity of mind, mental awareness, and the ability to be present. Resolves core issues of stress producing patterns. Develop the frontal lobe of the forehead, which controls your personality. Also, I thought about this whole encourage mastery over transforming emotion to devotion, but also like alchemic work, you could say. But also sometimes it's very similar, like being having anxiety can be so similar to being excited, and how you can so easily if you just if you work with your yeah as described, I would say. I won't go into my own words for this, I will just get sidetracked. But anyway, Simran, the continuous experience of the meditative mind. Simran is a continuous meditative, longingly creative feeling in which life is experienced as a spiritual flow. Yeah, and many people who work in these fields are workaholics. I mean, I know so many that are burned out or almost, or they, it's so easily to be drawn to this. I mean, we feel this pull, or that we need something and we know it's there, kind of but at the same time we keep being ruled by the mind, or the West, so to speak, in the medicine world. So this kind of pressure of making everyone pleased, or proving ourselves, or all kinds of stuff, like make us once again dive back into the trap of all the ideas in our minds, then, instead of living in that flow. So, meditation, a simple process. Teachings of the Master from a lecture by Yogapod, 21st of February 1978. Two things are simultaneously impossible. Either we are not a creation of a creator, and it is wrong that we are in the image of God, or there is no such thing as a sin. It is religious bigotry then when we say we commit a sin. We can agree there is no sin and grant that there is ignorance. Some know more and some know less. This is also so true. But sometimes we need someone to blame or stuff. I mean, or we want to create hells for those. I don't know. Emotion becomes commotion or devotion. We can also agree that there can be tremendous differences in emotions. Emotions are essential, as life is essential. Everyone is emotional, but our emotion can become commotion. When emotion becomes commotion, then you enter a dangerous zone, because commotion can create a pattern, and then patterns start governing your life. As long as you're emotional, it is all right. It is a learning process. After all, in 1 second, your intellect releases 1,000 thoughts. Out of 1,000 thoughts, you may not even pick one up. The intellect releases a lot of thoughts, but only a few thoughts become emotions, not all. As long as you are emotional, you are living, trying to live. Even when you become commotional, it is all right, but it is just a pattern, and it's just a matter of seriousness, because emotion can get into the subconscious mind. Emotion can have two options. Either it becomes devotion or commotion. If it becomes devotion and enters the subconscious mind, there is no pain. There is no sadness, there is no sacrifice, which is not easily done. It is a kind of bewitchment of mind in which one is totally possessed. He is happy with what he is doing, his world is his own, his destination is his own, and he shall make it. That is the devotional part. But suppose instead of the devotion, the emotion becomes commotion and enter the subconscious mind. Then there is a problem. Then you have a pattern, a style of life, and then the pattern will govern you. Emotion can have two options, as I said. Either it becomes devotion or commotion. If it becomes devotion and enters the subconscious mind, there is no pain. Wow. Meditation is the art of breaking habits to purify the mind and to take care of day to day things. Many people would not describe meditation as that. Yeah. It's more so like detached from everything or something. These commotions become our pattern. We call them habits. First, we create a habit, then the habit creates us. There is hardly any person who doesn't get into a habit, and it is very difficult to break a habit. If there is a wrong habit, you have a lot of trouble. Life becomes unhappy. Don't think that it don't think that in the past people were saints and now we are devils. That's not true. You don't live as adults. You want to test all the neuroses of your childhood. I have analyzed people. The subconscious psychology is so heavy in America, where he was teaching and so, that most people do not have smooth relationships at all. In dating, in communication, in social life, we show each other how powerful we are, but don't blame the ordinary person. Even yogis, swamis, ministers, and spiritual people have a big facade to impress people. In our life, there is one great weakness. We want to impress others. It is the salesmanship in our very genes that make us want to convince each other that we are great. Had we taken the attitude that we would show how great we are through actions, our life would be very smooth and happy. We have not learned to win each other over through actions. We believe that through logic and reason, through arguments, we can convince each other and get away with our weaknesses. But the problem is, those weaknesses will show up one day or the other. I need some water. When I came to America at first, I was not aware of the American traditions. I was so simple, and I wanted to be very simple. But I was surprised that a lot of promoters came to me. We want to promote you. After all, I knew English and I knew the word promotion. I sat down and thought, well, I am a yogi. How can this guy promote me more than that? What can he do for me? I talked to some people. They said, we can spread you in the United States. We can set up a corporation, $12 billion, $15 billion, as much as you ask. I said, and then what? I heard all their proposals very peacefully and nicely. And then I sat back and said, my God, this is what they think a spiritual man is. That was phase one. You can't learn anything with ego. You can't know things because of curiosity. Learning won't come to you until you keep yourself pure enough that you can receive it. You can know a lot, you can talk a lot, but when it comes to learning, you should be ready to receive. Then somebody will be ready to give to you. As they say, when the student is ready, the teacher comes or something. And this comes, I learned this many years after, but the next part of that is when the student is really ready, the teacher disappears. Yeah, it's the first one is when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And when the student is really ready, the teacher disappears. I think that's so beautiful and true also. Wow. Okay. The desire to know the unknown. And I have met so many who have given so much to me. Like they have just popped up like, oh, we want to give this to you. This was not like a here, pay me or something even. The desire to know the unknown. In the spiritual realm, ego has no place. Diamonds has no place. And small houses have no place. This is the realm of the earth. It is good to have things. You can have whatever you want to have, whatever you can afford minus taxes, but that is not all you are. There is a part of you which is very steadily ingrained in you, and that is your desire to know the unknown. Sometimes you wonder, what is the unknown of you? Look at yourself. You have no claws, no strong nails. As a human being, you have no defense mechanism. Have you been made defenseless? No. Your defense lies in your intuition. If you can intuitively know what is going to happen, then you will not enter the sequence and not end up with the consequences. That's all the defense you have. And what can give you that intuition? Your mind? How? if you have a meditative mind. Oh, this is so interesting also when it comes to all kinds of things that maybe, I'm not saying this because who knows, but conspiracy talk, then again, that may be used for us to, on us, let's say, through various things we take in or so on, to shut off our connection to the intuition, even entertainment, yeah, not the least, actually, because we're very powerful with it and we all have it. So how do you meditate? It is a very simple process. Most of the people in the world do not know what meditation is. They think if they can buy a manual for $150 and sit for 15 minutes on a chair, that's meditation. Some feel if they attend Yogapod's class and learn a meditation, that's meditation. Lots of people have lots of feelings about meditation, but they do not understand real meditation. Meditation is a process. When the dawn comes, the sun power, the ray energy is more scattered, and the mind is not controllable. At any time which is peaceful, the best is early morning time before the dawn. You'll be surprised that in a couple of minutes, a lot of thoughts will start coming to you. Those thoughts which you do not want to touch, the X-rayed thoughts, the ugly, angry thoughts, all those kinds of thoughts. If you let those thoughts pass by, this is meditation. All those thoughts that can pass at that moment of your life can never enter your subconscious mind, and they will not bother you again. This procedure of cleansing the mind, of not dumping a lot of thoughts into your subconscious mind, is called meditation. The procedure of cleansing the mind, of not dumping a lot of thoughts into your subconscious mind, is called meditation. It takes about 3 minutes to get those kinds of thoughts, and sometimes they continue to bug you for about half an hour. But if you physically don't move, the mind becomes still. That is the foundation or the beginning of the meditative mind. It is a purely physical process. It doesn't need any mantra or a teacher or any technique, except that the place you sit should be cozy, comfortable, and your body structure should be straight. Once your mind starts becoming still and not having any thoughts, you will feel cozy, and that coziness cannot be described even by me. All I can tell you is that it is very comfortable, it is very cozy, and you will want to do it again and again. But in the beginning, you cannot do it for a long time. Gradually, as you develop that coziness, this thought hitting process becomes shorter and shorter. When the mind is said to be intuitive and you develop it, it is as good an investment as your hairdo or your good clothes or your good language. Then whenever you want the answers to something, you don't have to call on anything but your own computer. Just stop yourself, and in a few moments your own self will talk to you. This is magic. Oh, it's cool though, isn't it? Try it. You have to concentrate. It is the mind which can concentrate for you. The mind is given as a tool to you. The mind is not your master. The mind was given to serve you. You develop all other facilities of the world, air-conditioned rooms, good cars, electronic instruments, but the biggest computer which you have is your mind. You never developed it. Now people are trying to learn meditation, but the problem is there are a lot of groups and are a lot of techniques, and everything is well branded. This is my technique, this is your technique. But let us talk about what the science of yoga says. The science of yoga says that whenever a mind can be developed to be under your control, when you do not have thoughts incoming, and that moment your mind is with you. When won't the mind give you any thoughts or any thought? Don't create a thought, enjoy it. That is the first stage of the intuitive level. First, the mind should be empty and you should enjoy it. It is cozy. and you can hang in there with that cozy mind for a while, but you'll not be in a position to hang in there for a long time. That too, you have to develop. But if you can hold on with your mind more than 5 minutes, you have set up your mind to compute for you. That is the beginning. If you can hang on with your empty mind, with which is your mind, for 11 minutes, then you can use your mind for directions. Wow, this is beautiful. You breathe 15 breaths a minute. The reverse of it is if you can have your mind with you for 15 minutes, you can develop that time. You can compute every consequence of your life through any sequence with your own mind. Is that difficult? This mind is beyond time and space. It is part of the universal mind. It is given to you as an instrument to serve you. What happened? It became your master. You became the servant. The mind becomes a monster when it becomes your master. The mind is an angel when it is your servant. It is all in your mind. The meditative mind is a purely beautiful state of living. I hope someone even have the energy to listen to all this or practice it more. So I one will me, but I also have this connection all the time. Even if I don't do this, but I will start now. It's hard to do before the sun goes up, though. Then in north of Sweden now, when it's light, I mean, I can do it before I go to bed, and it's like dark, very short time. Not at all, almost. So, but anyways, yeah, it's awesome. Using mantra for meditation. Now I'm going to discuss with you how you can develop the meditative mind very immediately when you control your mind. A lot of thoughts come to you, negative thoughts, all garbage, ambitions, thoughts, known and unknown, float around in a negative direction. Negative is like this. If you cut it in the center, what does it become? Positive. You keep chanting a mantra in a positive direction, so each negative becomes positive. Within 108 seconds of that moment you achieve, you can see your own soul. After that, you will become intuitive and will never be in trouble. So we pick up one mantra, which is a positive sound, a positive thought. Some psychologists have said if you only chant 111, that will work. That will work for his purposes, but it won't work for great purposes. You have to have a mantra which must idealize your isht. Isht means something you have a great reverence for. If a Christian has a great reverence, you say maybe, for Jesus Christ, he can call Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. It can be his mantra. There is no big problem. Mantra is something which, according to vibratory thought level, must be in a position to tune into the subconscious. Everything cannot be a mantra, and not everybody can manufacture a mantra. I get those sometimes, but anyway, never mind. And also mudras and so with hand positions. But if the word can be tuned in at every and not everybody, yeah. But if the word can be tuned in at the thought level basis into the subconscious, and it is the highest word of reverence, or however you say, for that person, that is the best mantra for the person. If that mantra is also repeated when those thoughts hit you, the minus becomes plus. In other words, we chant to make things positive and gain profit easily. It is to cut the time. Wow. This is gems. Anyone, if someone listens to this, you have to understand this is so profound. Everything in this is just a part. I said what chapter it was, 10 and 11. But I mean, there is so much more, and everything is contained with Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, why does a mantra work for you? Because mantra is always that unknown of you. Some people receive a kind of mantra. I asked somebody once, "What is your mantra?" He said, "Nim." I asked him what it meant. He said, "I don't know. It. I was given it. I paid for it. I have been chanting it for the last 8 years. Do you enjoy it?" He said, "Yeah." What has it done for you? He said, "I don't know, but I like it." Through the person, though the person was innocent and didn't understand the meaning of what it did for him, his reverence, yeah, for that word was so powerful that it always set in his heart something very special. That is all you need. Life is not equal for all, and it is not equivalent for all. You have to fit in at the frequency of your mind and your body. I have seen that the majority of people do not know how much their body can take. They have never assessed it. Everybody feels a body can take whatever you can give it. That is not true. Everybody has a capacity. Every mind has a frequency. You have to bring the two together, and then you have to find out who you are. That is the easiest way to live happily. Yoga is a science. It is the purest art by which to live. Everything about it can be explained well. It is meant for a human being. It is not meant for angels. There is no such thing as sin. It is if it is true God has created you, then God has created you for purpose, and to live only for that purpose is grace. Oh well, okay. Anyway, everybody has a capacity. I mean, not everybody, like everybody. Two words, like every body has a capacity, every mind has a frequency. You have to bring the two together, and then you have to find out who you are. That is the easiest way to live happily. So, stopping the mind question. A student asked Yogi Bhajan the following question. My mind is always full of thoughts and arguments. A friend told me that if I meditate, I should stop all my thoughts and control my mind so it is quiet. Is that possible with meditation? My mind is awfully noisy. Yogi, Yogi Bhajan. It is not meditation that stops the mind. It is the surrender of the mind to the soul and the soul to the truth. Truth is like spirit. It is when you prefer the word of truth to the word of your own intellect. Wow. Those who intellectualize a lot should know that yoga means union with a supreme consciousness. It is only at that time, at the moment of union, that the stream of thoughts stops. In Kundalini Yoga, you are given a perfect key for the lock of consciousness. The incessant intellect acts like a file that rubs off the levers from the key. Intellectualizing the truth to suit your own circumstances and to cater to your fears will never work. So hold and behold the truth wherever you are. People will mark the way to you. No person is superior or inferior to another in his potential. When you earn the vision and character, one person will want to see what you behold. They will want to use those eyes, and another will not. In both cases, your mind will be peaceful in the service of the infinite. It was something I thought about here. What was it? Well, no, never mind. Anyway, prayer and meditation. Prayer is when the mind is one pointed and man talks to infinity. Meditation is when the mind becomes totally clean and receptive and infinity talks to the man. Says Yogi Bhajan. And I'm so blessed with these things and happy for them. Okay, how much is it left? Shall I go on and on and on and no one is here? For 2 hours I've done this now. It feels like I just don't still want to keep doing it for a little bit longer. Pratyahar. Teaching from the master from a lecture by Yogi Bhajan, 25th of August 1978. Many about Pratyahara, that is. Many thousands of years ago, the sages sat down and divided the science of yoga in 8 different aspects. I would like to talk to you about one part. It's called Pratyahara. Pratyahara is a secret science to reach God. You won't find it discussed fully in any books. And well, if anyone listens, I should have mentioned this from the beginning, but God is like just a concept. You don't have to be attached to that before you hear what it means, like here. Anyway, you won't find it discussed fully in any books. All they say is Pratyahara means to contract. Contract what? They don't explain it. In some places they say Pratyahara is Pratyahara, and whosoever does Pratyahara reaches God. How are you going to make any sense out of it? That is how these old sciences happen. It goes from teacher to student, and so it passes on. The most beautiful art of yoga is the most pure science of yoga, and the most pure science of yoga is Pratyahara. Pratyahara means correctly in English, contract or synchronize. Synchronization, yeah, I've talked about that. I will give you an example. Some of my students today sent me a birthday present. I should feel very grateful that the present has come, and they wanted me to participate by thanking them. But when I saw it, I couldn't immediately thank them, since at that time I had been analyzing just what Pratyahara is. It is a habit to synchronize towards God. So immediately out of my mouth came, "Blessed is Lord God," was giving them the heart. I could have said, "Thank you. They are beautiful." But nothing like that happened, and I started wondering why I could not say that. A gift is a source of happiness, but who provides the gift, and who is the ultimate provider of the gift? Who provides the gift? Yeah, an ultimate provider of the gift. If the consciousness does not synchronize immediately and focus on the point, you are not a yogi. On that point, yeah. If the mind does not synchronize immediately and focus on that point, you are not a yogi. Wow, harsh. Have I more water? Not so much. I maybe need that to go on and on and on and on. Let's see. My chair squeaks a lot. Whoa. I just have to do my procedure when it comes to the water. I write some stuff. More so the energy of it, but wait a second. I'm soon done with this. So, water. So, nice. Nice. Okay, so I'll just put my feet up here also. Hope I don't bump into it. Wow, this is so much more comfortable. Right. Sorry. Well, bowing to the source. For 12 years, a woman and her husband tried, but they were never blessed with a child. It took 12 years, but finally she got pregnant. A beautiful son came, and all they did was start meditating, chanting, and praying. When people came to them saying, "Well, God gave you a beautiful son. We're so happy," they said, "Yes, please sit down and meditate and chant with us." For 40 days, I saw nothing but kirtan, chanting, and music outside that house. They were so happy. They would request of everybody, "Please, if you really love us, please join with us. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord." This is called Pratyahara. Under any time, space, and circumstance, under any pressure, depression, or oppression, you do not forget the Infinite One. That is called Pratyahara. Under any time, space, and circumstance, under any pressure, depression, or oppression. You do not forget the infinite one. Actually, oh my, I've heard so many people lately. I mean, there terrible things have happened to some people, obviously, which I cannot even imagine. What I think, though, but this is just my intellect, and I should not, I mean, this is not judging anyone. It's just a question that I have in my mind. Just recently, there was this little child that was, I mean, I can't think of anything worse, but that was a grandchild to someone lost in cancer. And there was this kid that I've been lost from here and everything. But anyway, I read this the other day just about this kid. And I can't even hardly think about these things. And it's not even someone I know, let's say. But it's, I mean, everyone understands that you don't want to even understand that things like that can happen. But this person, maybe just in the sorrow and everything, wrote like, my faith is gone and everything they had prayed to God and whatever. And I wonder how you think then. I mean, I can't understand the sorrow like that. So I'm not trying to like go on to that person. But would they think that other people that are, I mean, I don't really, I hope you understand my question. Actually, I lost a child. I mean, it was miscarriage when I was, wow, I don't know exactly my age, 27 maybe. And I had lots of tarot cards then also, and I wouldn't dare to use them because I didn't want to know if it wouldn't go well. I decided to keep this child, and I could never think about anything but that. Actually, it would not be possible in my thoughts. But yeah. Anyways, so that was never a question for me. But anyways, then I had this Osho, which is not my favorite though, but I had a couple of decks from him, this well-known Zen thing. And I don't have them anymore, and also had another little deck with stories in it. Actually, those were kind of fabulous. That was older stories from whomever. I mean, spiritual. What can you say? Insightful little stories. Actually, now I kind of maybe wish I would have that still. I don't know. I don't remember what it was called, but it was from him though. Anyways, I thought, okay, this is just a bunch of little stories about this and that, spiritual stories. And I thought, okay, I can pull a card from that deck. It was like, maybe it also had like 78 cards or something. It was like many cards in it also. And I had never seen that particular card or read it. So I did dare pull one card because I really didn't want to see that anything would go bad. So I wouldn't use my own tarot cards or anything like that. And it said, it was this story about someone losing their child, coming to Buddha, asking him to make it come alive again. I think it was a woman carrying her child and praying to him, and he said, go to every house in town and ask if no one have died. If you find one house where no one has died and they have not had sorrow and so on, then come back to me and I will make this child come alive. If you find that one house like that. And she went searching through town there. She couldn't find one. And then she came back to him and said that. And he said, like, well, don't search for the things that, or maybe didn't say like, well, but anyway, don't search for the things that are finite, you could say. Search for the infinite. Search for the things that live forever, you know? And she became a disciple and followed him, is the story. And by that story, I knew I would going to lose this child, which I didn't want to know. but I was still somewhat comforted by the fact that universe knew, what can I say? And also afterwards, I always thought I would have so many kids, and everything, but I have a bonus kid. He exists. Anyways, I count him though, but yeah, not going further down that road, but yeah, so I was like, I have been surprised by the fact, I must say, so far. But over the years, more and more I realize how blessed I am for not having that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything, but yeah, I see that the things that I have had, also the opportunity to do and focus on and so on, the richness in that, probably wouldn't have had the same opportunities for, let's say. Yeah, it's kind of a freedom, or what you can say. I don't long for it, although they are the most fantastic things. They are not things, but yeah, if you understand. Well, I drifted off on that tangent, so I will continue. Now, when I get so happy getting in here, I don't want to leave ever, because if I do, I may not be able to get back in, I feel. But I will. Yeah, well, it will be worked out somehow. Okay. Yeah. Pratyahara is also called the science of dedicated devotion. It's not simple devotion. Simple devotion is thank you, God. That's simple devotion. But it's also a dedication, because when anything comes, you say, thank you, God, for making me thank you. It is of a very high caliber. It is a very simple process for getting away from sensuality and sexuality when they bring you to the earth. Thank God for the earth, and thank God, and then God won't let you go down the tube. It is the power of the word of God that you are not limited. The moment you are unlimited, you cannot fall apart. You will only fall apart because of ego. You can't fall apart because of God. Ego confines you to limits, and your spirit then gets inflated. When your spirit gets inflated in infinity, because you're in mental infinity, then you are divine. Oh, wow, this I do not understand. When your spirit gets inflated in infinity, because you are in mental infinity, then you are divine. Yeah, okay. But when your spirit gets inflated when you are confined, then you are like a balloon. This is so interesting, and so much like the teachings of the medicine wheel as well. Spiritual ego. Ego is like also the stories we tell ourselves about stuff and everything. Spiritual ego, devotion to oneself instead of God. In spirituality, you will find spiritual ego. It is horrible. The majority of religious people are very miserable because they walk on the path of spirituality with ego. They start building devotion towards themselves, develop pride, then freak out. Then they start showing off these cities, these powers. I can fly, I can elevate the 3 feet from the ground. I can do this to you. This Tatwa Siddhi is to tell another person, I'm superior to you. They become a kind of semi-god, half-cooked, half-cooked food. Neither tastes raw nor tastes cooked. I call them spiritual junkies. You find a lot of swamis, yogis, ministers, and rabbis as spiritual junkies. They know a lot of junk. They know a lot of spiritual stuff, but as humans, they are junkies. They are not grateful. They start showing you they are superior. That's why you'll find an uptight man of God is as dangerous as a cobra, a scorpion, or a lizard. These animals which give you fatal bites or have their tongues going in and out. This is where you will go if you enter spiritual ego. A snake lives very long, although All these spiritual teachers want to live very long, 500 years, to keep that domain over other creatures of God. They want to enjoy that domain, because if a man of God is not straightforward, is not truthful, and does not always talk about God, and rather brings his personality into the bargain, that's what he gets. To practice pratyahar means one must synchronize, analyze, and totally shell out everything and the praise of God realize the praise of God out of everything. God never made anybody without sense. God never made anybody a sinner. God is not a sinner. How can you be of God and be negative, a sinner, an egomaniac, or jealous? These are 250 negative qualities which you can count that do not belong to God, and with these qualities you do not belong to God. Be careful. There are two ways of devotion. One is divine, the other is devil. Those decorations are the features you possess. If you want to discipline yourself towards the divine, then you have to get out of all this nonsense. And if you want to belong to the divine, you have to master this nonsense. They don't go together. The majority of us are a hodgepodge of half divine and half devil, sometimes divine, sometimes devil. When a person who practices pratyahar is a devil, then he's God's devil. When he is divine, he is God's divine one. His dedication to devotion is always divine. Therefore, neither is he a devil nor is he divine. He is the infinite divine because he can cut through the limits of time and space. The caliber of such people is beautiful. They don't stop at anything. They don't and they can't. In Anand Sahib, the science of pratyahara is explained in such a beautiful manner. This is where the Guru talks to the eyes, the Guru talks to the ears, the Guru talks to the breath, the Guru talks to the life. All these similes are nothing but the science of pratyahara, which is further than pranayam. It is the entire Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and in Gurbani, wherever the mind has been addressed, it is pratyahar. Re me bija kamau. Oh, my mind, practice yoga in this way, by Guru Gobind Singh. But yeah, I mean, it's like in this now it's almost 2:22 soon. But I mean, the explanation of God and devil here is not something else. It's us. Anyway, 2:22 now. 2:22:22. Cool. Okay, moving on. Okay. The science of spirituality is the science of union. Technically speaking, the science of mind is the source of happiness, and when you cannot do pratyahar, you cannot be grateful to God, the infinite source which continually gives to you. Then you can never learn to enjoy that thing. A thing that which does not come to you from infinity cannot be with you to infinity. Remember this, law of cosmic consciousness. If material things come to you because of infinity and you have the synchronization of dedication of your consciousness to feel that it comes from infinity, then you have grace. The cause of all is the infinite. The science of pratyahar indicates the dedicated telescopic view of the infinite in the presence of finite microscopic analysis. Whenever this finite microscopically looks into anything out of the microscopic view, he or she telescopically understands the cause of it as infinity and bows. Yeah, either nothing is or everything is. It cannot not be like or. But we, even in the medicine world teachings, we humans are the only ones that not live in oneness with everything else. So we are the only ones that create heaviness. They also don't speak about like evil, good, or like so on. It's heavy or light, and it varies what is heavy and light for various people also. Anyway, Namo Sarab Diale, Namo Sarab Palai. Guru Gobind Singh, Jap Sahib 28. I bow to the one who is merciful to all. I bow to the one who nourishes all. The Namopori of Jap Sahib is most beautiful creation of Guru Gobind Singh, through which Pratyahar can be totally understood. In it there is a sentence, Namo Tantra Tantrang, Guru Gobind Singh, Jap Sahib 57. I bow to the science which unites me to God. That's beautiful, actually. The exact meaning of the word Tantra here can be understood by looking at the woven cloth. There is a length and there is a breadth. You say not breadth. The length is called Tana, the breadth is called Pita. Tantra deals with the longitude and latitude of the entire cosmos. Tantra is a science of unison which teaches from the multison to the unison through the longitude and latitude of the entire cosmos. I want to educate you so that you can really understand what Guru Gobind Singh and all the gurus gave to you as a science. I'm afraid that this sweetness on the part of some Indians when they talk to you is diplomatic cleverness, and in your frankness and directness you can innocently be trapped by their approach. I remember in Amritsar somebody started discussing with me, well, how do we know if they are Sikhs or not? I said, well, I'll show you whether you are Sikhs or not. I said, by Daya Singh come. This Sardarji is an Indian-born Sikh. Sit down with him in Padma Asan, lotus pose, and both chant Vahaya Guru together for 2.5 hours without stopping, I said. Oh, this was a long sentence. I didn't know I was almost get that. I've read this before. I realized that. But anyway. Okay, Sardarji, sit down. Okay, Sardarji, sit down with him and tune in. After exactly 40 minutes, that man fainted. At that time, Daya Singh was not very old. He was only 16. Can't a person spend 1/10 of his time praising God with a single syllable word, which represents infinity? You do not understand one thing. You do not want to relate to your consciousness. You are not going to be judged after death. You are being judged now. Your caliber, your consciousness, your behavior, your environment, your projection, your standard, your faculty of faith, everything is the totality of you. You are being computerized for everything. Therefore, it is required of you that this automatic computer screens you in every activity and totality keeps your record. Therefore, you must answer for everything you do and answer to your own consciousness. Don't answer to me or anyone else. Nobody will judge you at the time of death but your own consciousness. When Buddha was given those mushrooms, he knew that they were poison, but he also knew that they came as prasad, a blessing from prayer. He took it, he died, perfect. Guru Arjan Dev could have compromised, he never compromised. Men of infinity are men of God. No, they are God themselves, in the finite shell of a human. Yeah, that's it. They don't compromise. Infinity shall never compromise, because infinity is a living truth experienced through a finite man. That is called divine. Or woman, I will add to that though. The practice pratyahar means one must synchronize, analyze, and totally shell out everything and realize the praise of God out of everything. Yeah, it cannot be otherwise, right? Everything is fantastic. Yeah, it must be, right? It's perfect. Okay. So the science of pratyahar is an analytical, standardized mental state of consciousness in which you analytically understand that the very depth and source of any existence coming towards you or going away from you, the cause of all causes, is infinity, or yourself as God, you could say. Can you tell me what is the greatest gift on earth? Breath, prana. The first gift is the breath. The second gift is the spiritual teacher. But these two gifts are caused only by what? Explain it to me. The grace of God. Gur Prasad. God's will. It is also pratyahar when you cause or intend to cause a cause. Yeah. You are told what the consequences or effects will be, and so you can have total and infinite understanding. I am trying to let you know that this universe is an electromagnetic field. It has longitude and latitude of magnetic wavelengths. This cosmic universe is very communicative, it talks. And in this talking, all personalities are built or named. Or, well, let's see. No. All personalities are built or marred. It says, therefore, always speak very carefully, consciously, knowing what that shall mean unto infinity. Remember, the word is God, and God is the word. You are what your words are. I think this subject is very scientific. I should not teach you more than this at this time, except to say that infinity produces infinity. You cannot have any shortcomings if you meditate on infinity. Actually, it is the job of the spiritual teacher to tear you apart and show you infinity. Yeah, I'm working on it with some people who want to work with me. Yeah, this is the most rational he does. It is like a car mechanic. He tears it apart, bangs it around, corrects it, cleans it up, and gives it to you. How you use it is your problem. A spiritual teacher is a workshop of creative infinity. When you come in that garage, that's what happens to you. That is why you sometimes are not happy to come, because all you know is the mechanics workshop, uniform language and tools, chisels, hammers, screwdrivers, and everything get all over you, and you do not know why in the world you came. You know what I mean? What I mean? Some come only for tuning, some come because of a serious accident. The language of pratyahar. The dialogue of of the finite and infinite becomes one when you merge with infinity. It changes the language, it changes the scope, it changes the desire field. It changes every electromagnetic approach and frequency right away. I have met some people who have that frequency. I have talked to them and they don't talk scriptures. I'll tell you something. Once I came home from college and I met my grandpa. He received me and all he said was, "Blessed is this blessed time. God must be very present that he has given me the opportunity to see my grandson in a very joyful, divine way." I looked around. I said, "Have I turned into an angel?" I moved my hands and arms up and down as if they were wings. He knew that I was very humorous, so he asked, "You are finding your wings?" I said, "Yes, Grandpa. I am just trying to look at myself. Perhaps my wings have grown and you might have seen them." He said, "Yes, your radiance is so excellent. I am seeing the very excellence of His grace through you and your presence. Come on, sit down, let us talk." Can you believe this language? Just an ordinary meeting with a grandchild. That's all. It is not what you have It's not that you have to sing slokas. Is that the word? Yeah. Take out the Rig Vedas or always quote the Bible to prove you are very religious. If you can talk like infinity, live like infinity, feel like infinity, and deal like infinity, then you become a living infinity. But first you have to totally synchronize pratyahar. Inhale sat, exhale nam. Says here also. Meditating with silent awareness or with mantra. Oh my, shall I even go on now? This was so tough. I think this is a little bit much, right? Wow, at least I need water. This was wild. We do many types of meditation in Kundalini Yoga. What is the advantage of using mantra either silently or aloud as opposed to sitting with silent awareness? Now, it's start to beep here, but anyway. The purpose of meditation is to cleanse the subconscious mind and align the mind with the vision of the soul. It is a mental shower to remove ill thought and attachments. The three basic forms of meditation are suspension, receptive or mindful, void, focused with concentration, anahat through pratyahar. Meditation redirects a thought in three ways. With the negative, positive, and neutral minds. The negative mind lets it go and rejects accepting the thought. It looks at all things without reaction. If only this approach is used, it leads to the state of suspension. The positive mind accepts it and amplifies it with focus and concentration. If only this is used, all other thoughts are not seen. It leads to the state of void. If the neutral mind is used by seeing the infinite in each finite moment, and if an object is seen without barriers by synchronizing it between its finite and infinite aspects, pratyahar, it leads to the state of anahat. In Kundalini Yoga, we use all three forms of meditation. Many traditions concentrate on one or two. I will read the last one again. If an object is seen without barriers by synchronizing it between its finite and infinite aspects, pratyahar, it leads to the state of anahat. In Kundalini Yoga, because also when we do marma treatment in Ayurveda and so on, but silent meditation allows the subconscious to dump. Silence makes you aware of the many experiences in the mind. It allows the subconscious to start dumping. You become aware of many thoughts, feelings, and processes that are just below consciousness, but which constitute the base for much of our life experience. Watching the breath silently and watching all the objects of the mind is very soothing and gradually provokes awareness. However, it does not remove the deep samskaras, the deepest imprints in the unconscious. Silence, sound, and unstruck sound. Silent meditation is one part of a three-member team: silence, sound, and anahat, the unstruck sound of the heart. Silence awakens you to what is in the subconscious. Mantra transform the content of the subconscious. Merger through rhythm and nad takes you into anahat, which changes the structure of the consciousness itself. Taking the support of a mantra like a thunderbolt. To change the deepest subconscious, a seed is needed. The seed or beej, as I said, beej mantra, that was seed was I was talking about that is used oftentimes in Yoga Nidra also. Has three main functions. It acts as a focus for the mind. It acts like a fulcrum over which other thoughts can be leveraged up to the infinite. It acts as a template of the infinite to form a new model or imprint in the mind. Yogi Bhajan describes the process this way. When you meditate deeply into an ecstatic self-hypnosis that joins together heavens, earth, and self, the subconsciousness releases a flood of thoughts, wave after wave. Flood. Every thought has impact and results. To break old patterns, you must take the support of a thunderbolt, a mantra, to cut to the core of your negative thoughts and turn their energy to positive. The ideal seed is a mantra. The mantra is not just a sound or thought. In a sense, mantra pre-exist as the DNA of God. They are in each cell of the creation. Their sound has focus and contains a provocative seed, which provides a template for higher experience. Repeating a mantra restructures the patterns in the mind that filter experience. When you merge into anahat through the use of mantra and rhythm, you vibrate a seed, a template of infinity that resides in the center of every cell and atom of you like spiritual DNA. When every part of you vibrates, we call that state Ang Sang Waheguru. Ang Sang Ang means a part of you, Waheguru is a state of ecstasy. Sang means every. So every part of you vibrates as one in merger in ecstasy of consciousness. You become the mantra, and the entire universe meditates on you. Wow. This poetry. I mean, wow. I must read this again. It was so beautiful. When you merge into Anahat through the use of mantra and rhythm, you vibrate a seed, a template of infinity that resides in the center of every cell and atom of you, like spiritual DNA. When every part of you vibrates, we call that state Ang Sang Waheguru. Ang means a part of you, Waheguru is a state of ecstasy, Sang means every. So every part of you vibrates as one in merger in ecstasy of consciousness. You become the mantra, and the entire universe meditates on you. Oh, wow. Oh, someone, no, it was my own comment. I thought someone was there. Anyway, from questions and answers column with Guru Haran Singh Khalsa, Kundalini Rising. Okay. All right. So how much more can I do with this? Maybe not. Maybe not. I kind of want to go through this whole chapter now, but it's a lot. Well. We will see how long my throat can keep reading. Simran, the flow of the meditative mind. Simran is the goal of meditation. It is continuous, meditative, longingly creative feeling. It is a feeling, it is a flow, it is a touch, it is a substance. Ang Sang Waheguru, God is within my every limb, every millimeter, every situation of mine. Japa is the repetition of the holy Nam. Japa is not Simran. Japa gives the power of Simran. Meditation is not Simran. Meditation gives you the power of Simran. Raj Yoga is not Simran. Raj Yoga is a technology to achieve, receive, and conceive Simran. Sahaj Yoga is not Simran. Sahaj Yoga is a concept through which you can pursue Simran. Prayer is not Simran. Prayer gives you the power so that your mind can be set for Simran. When the state of consciousness reaches Simran, then you do not need to do anything. God follows you. At that stage of the Almighty, the Infinite, the omniscient, omnipotent God, the something which you are so proud of and which you talk about, the scriptures talk about, and saints and sages sing about, that entire universal power is totally towards the teeny tiny individual. Then there is a deep flow of spirituality. Spiritual flow is just like a river. Anything can be taken out of it. It still continues, and that flow comes out of Simran. Yoga Bhajan, 6th of July, 1980. Samadhi, enlightenment. Yoga Bhajan describes the experience of Samadhi or enlightenment in the following poem from Furman Khalsa, Poems to Live By. The Beloved, when I joined myself to truth, I got drenched with a color that never fades. The rhythm of my breath became the very sound of God's name, and sitting perfectly in Shardikala, the true Guru took me by the hand. My burning desires, my attachments, greed, and pride all vanished. My lust and passion, my flaming anger were all destroyed when the true Guru held my hand. I perfected the yoga of Satnam. Divine radiance filled my destiny. My master showed me the invisible path, and merged in light, my lotus bloomed. Light flowed everywhere effortlessly. I became the beloved when I learned how to love, O people. I became majestic, and God came to live within me. Beloved, I became the beloved. It just happened. God did it. When I joined myself to truth, I became filled with light, inside, outside, light and more light, drenched in light. The true Guru held my hand. Shandi, vad står det nu? Vad är det nu? Chandikala means a state of Kundalini, where of Kundalini rise. Yeah, reason. Okay. Whoa. So many hours doing this, but otherwise I won't read it for myself, actually. But I have read this before. Preparing for meditation. Meditation is a personal, private experience, even when you are meditating in a group. Yet there are a few universal things that help set the stage for an optimum meditative experience. In a yoga class setting, the environment is already set for you. When practicing on your own, here are a few things that are important. Environment. Choose a setting in which you are most likely to be undisturbed. Quiet, beautiful, and sacred is ideal. Best is not too hot, not too cold, or have something supportive but soft to sit on, such as a sheepskin or a blanket. If you cannot sit comfortably on the floor, sit in a chair. And also the sheepskin, take away the electromagnetic stuff around. It helps very much for this kind of things. I should buy that, actually. I'm somewhat affected by electricity and such. Not so much nowadays, but I was. But anyway, it could help. There is much of that going on in the world now. Well, when to meditate, any time is fine. However, yogis know that the best time is 4 to 7 a.m. or starting 2.5 hours before rise of the sun. Okay, we can go from that then instead of the sun here in Sweden in the summer. This is when all is quiet, and instead of dreaming, you consciously process your mind with meditation. Another optimal time of day is 4 to 7 p.m. when the sun is setting. Before going to sleep is also a good time to meditate, thus settling and clearing the mind in preparation for deep sleep. It's best not to have a full stomach when meditating. Tune in with Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Do yoga exercises and pranayam. Doing yoga and breathing exercises in preparation for meditation is a key principle in the practices of Kundalini Yoga. The balancing effects of the nervous system and the stimulation of the more subtle energies of the mind and body facilitates the process of meditation. Yeah, my mind can get all still after I've done some kriyas and so. But anyway. Also, meditating at the end of a yoga set is a true completion of the process of Kundalini Yoga. It dedicates the energies of the mind, body, and soul to their true state of transcendence and grace. It's a wonderful place to be. That's like bliss, really. Is there someone here? It seems like it. There is not a one, but there is like a little figure. Never mind. I will keep going. Spine straight. No matter how you're seated, it is important that the spine be straight and the posture balanced. The spine acts as a central channel for the energy of the nervous system. See Kriya Mudra Bandha chapter. Maintain neck lock. Clothing. Wear comfortable clothing to fine-tune your experience. Cover your head and wear clothing of natural fibers. Mudras. In Kundalini Yoga, hand positions or mudras are an important part of meditation. A mudra is a position of the hands that locks and guides energy flow and reflexes to the brain. Okay. A mudra is a position of the hands that locks and guides energy flow and reflexes to the brain. Sikruya Mudra Bandha chapter, yeah. Slow down the breath. As you breathe deeply and rhythmically, scan the body for tension and let it go as you exhale. Begin inhaling, vibrating the word Sat, exhaling Nam. You are now ready to get into the meditation of your choice. Keeping steady during meditation. There is a myth that when you sit down, you should be able to quiet your mind. The mind generates thousands of thousands per second. When you sit quietly and turns the focus inward, you become very aware of what is going on in the background of your mind. Distractions are the rule. Just keep going back to the mantra or other points of focus. Do not evaluate or react to the extraneous thoughts. Let them be processed by the mantra. The mind never stops, but you can create a stillness, a calm, which will serve you all through your life. Have patience with yourself. Perhaps at first you will achieve only a minute or two of fully focused meditation. Trust the process. Choosing a meditation. The range and variety of meditation techniques in the Kundalini Yoga tradition is truly extraordinary. In the Sets and Meditations chapter of this manual, you will find over 60 different meditations, a mere fraction of the hundreds of meditations that Yogi Bhajan has passed on. Yet, in this compendium, you will find a comprehensive group of meditations tailored to specific applications, which you can begin to teach to your students or practice on your own. Included are meditations which use the breath, others that use mantra. There are group meditations, healing meditations, Venus Kriyas, and meditations for children. Wow. But anyway, there are meditations that reduce stress, work or on addictions, increase vitality, and clear the chakras. You can also read not read the mind, but read the mind, its 81 facets and projections, and find over 40 meditation keyed to the various aspects of the mind structure. For a comprehensive approach to active walking meditation, see Breath Walk by Yogi Bhajan and Guru Sharan Singh Khalsa. Whoa. Okay. Is someone here now? Okay. Meditation focus for the eyes. I will just see if I really can do this, or am I too tired? I will continue for a little bit more. Meditation focus for the eyes. Drist. There are several different places to focus the eyes while meditating, depending on which meridians and parts of the brain are to be stimulated. At the third eye point, what does it say now? Shambhavi Mudra, the brow point, the root of the nose. Here the tension is on the brow and the eyes are gently raised. The sushumna, the central nerve force, is stimulated. This stimulates the pituitary. This word, I can never say this almost. Let's see now. Stimulates the pituitary. Intuition is developed, yes. But I never read this before, I think, about that it stimulates the sushumna, the central nerve force. I never knew that. Anyway, at the tip of the nose, Agya chakra band, there is the highest lock. It is referred to as lotus point meditation. This controls the mind, which is locked in a triangle. When the optic nerve concentrates at the tip of the nose, the Idam Pingala, the Sushumna, the Idam Pingala, then Sushumna get to a center of balance. This stimulates the pineal gland and the frontal lobe of the brain. New energy pathways are created in the brain patterns. Fantastic. Idam Pingala is the sun and the moon stream in the nose. Yeah. I mean, in the whole Sushumna whole flow of the in the back. Yeah. Well, anyway, at the moon center, this is the tip of the chin with the eyes closed and rolled down. This is cooling, calming. You see yourself clearly. At the crown chakra, the 10th gate, the top of the head, eyes are closed and rolled upwards as if looking through the top of the head. This stimulates the pineal gland and the crown energy center. 1/10 open. 1/10 open. The eyelids are light and relaxed. This stimulates the optic nerve slightly so your system doesn't shut down. It makes you calm and develops intuition. Eye focus may vary as indicated by Yogi Bhajan's instructions. You will often find instructions in Kundalini Yoga manuals to keep the eyes 9/10 shut. This is the same as 1/10 open, yeah, obviously. Although eye focus and mental concentration will vary. There are two parts of the body which have to be worked on through meditation. If these two areas are underdeveloped in your life, you don't have a chance. The frontal lobe of the forehead, which controls your personality, the upper palate of the mouth, which controls your autonomic systems. See sounds and mantras, yeah. Whenever you meditate like this on the tip of the nose, the frontal lobe will become hard. As you meditate more, it will become like lead, maybe it says, yeah. And the funny thing is, one day automatically it will not be lead, it breaks. You will have intuition to see the unseen, know the unknown, and hear the unheard. And your life will not be the same as it is now, says Yogi Bhajan, Khalsa Women's Training Camp, July 1994. Okay, meditation minutes. Yogic science says that there are specific lengths of time needed for certain desired effects during meditation. Most meditations are done for 11 or 31 minutes. Have you seen this in my videos long back? You have been around me since before. 3 minutes of meditation affects the electromagnetic field, the circulation stability of the blood. Never mind that. 11 minutes of meditation begins to change the nerves and the glandular systems. 22 minutes of meditation balances the three minds and they begin to work together. 31 minutes of meditation allows the glands, breath, and concentration to affect all the cells and rhythms of the body. It lets the psyche of the meditation affect the three gunas and the 31 tattvas, and all layers of the mind's projections. 62 minutes changes the gray matter in the brain, the subconscious shadow mind, and the outer projection are integrated. Fantastic. Many need that. Okay. 2.5 hours changes the psyche in its correlation with the surrounding magnetic field so that the subconscious mind is held firmly in a new pattern by the surrounding universal mind. The 5 tattvas we hear about are the 5 most dense or gross elements, and then there are several more than, as it says here, about the 31 tattvas. Okay. Meditation sadhana. There are two guiding instincts in man. He is either improving his future or blocking his future improvement. If you are conscious of this and have an honest and sincere urge to improve the future, you will always have promoting habits. If you cannot care for God, at least you care for the future, says Yogi Bhajan. To master the effects of meditation practice, it is to master the effects of a meditation, practice it as a sadhana, a daily discipline. This will develop a life-promoting habit. Habit controls us so much that it is said that we can actually change our destiny by changing our habits. According to yogic science, the human mind works in cycles. We can use various cycles to help replace unwanted patterns or behaviors, mental or emotional habits, with new, more positive ones. Yeah. One commits to a particular meditation or kriya for a specific time. It takes 40 days to change a habit. It takes 90 days to confirm the habit. In 120 days, the new habit is who you are. In 1,000 days, you have mastered the new habit. The duration of 40 days of practice lets the meditation provoke your subconscious to release any thoughts and emotional patterns that hinder you. A good meditation will break your own pattern, put in a seed for a new pattern, and clear the subconscious. Try to meditate at the same time each day. It is helpful to keep a journal of your daily practice. Okay. Whew. Now we are at the gong. Using the gong for meditation. The sound of the gong creates deep relaxation, releasing us from the torrent of thoughts our mind releases, and it stimulates the glandular system to a higher level of functioning. When asked to explain the effects of gong meditation and how to use it, Yogi Bhajan responded, "The gong is very simple. It is an intervibratory system. It is the sound of creativity itself. One who plays the gong plays the universe. The gong is not an ordinary thing to play. Out of it came all music, all sounds, and all words. The sound of the gong is the nucleus of the word. The gong is not a musical instrument, not a drum, nor a drum. The gong is a beautiful reinforced vibration. It is like a multitude of strings, as if you played with a million strings. The gong is the only tool with which you can produce this combination of space vibrations." Emotional transformation during gong meditation exercises. The gong impacts the body and its meridians. It releases blocks, reduces tension, and stimulates circulation. The result is a reorganization of the or emotional energy and feelings that are tied into the body structure. Before playing a long, deep gong meditation, inform the students to relax the muscles and let the sound of the gong penetrate the body and guide the mind. If they tighten the muscles and try to fight the natural process of change that occurs, they may feel tired or irritated by the gong's strong pulsations. During a gong meditation or during the relaxation afterwards, some people may cry, feel weightless, or laugh uncontrollably. Relax. The release of feelings is a normal process in gong meditation. Play a meditation tape and give the person some water, a tissue, and a little conversation. The gong changes the feelings that are blocked by cutting the thoughts that sustains and recreate the feelings. This can be frightening, arousing, exciting, or delightful. That will depend on the individual. Playing the gong. The sequences and rhythms for playing the gong are as varied as music and imagination. A teacher who wishes to learn how to use a gong can begin by viewing the videotapes of Yogi Bhajan when he uses the gong meditation classes. Also available is a CD called Spirit Song. Then look for courses offered on learning this art. It is inadvisable to play the gong for meditation without proper training. Using a mala for meditation. A mala is a simple, effective meditative tool which can help to reduce stress and enhance wisdom, patience, and health. A mala consists of 108, 54, or 27 beads strung on silk thread with one larger bead, called the guru bead, from which a tassel hangs. The tassel symbolizes 1,000 lotus. I never knew this. 1,000 lotus petals. I had this for so long. I still have the beads from one when I was in Tibetan temple in Gothenburg. Anyway, but the string eventually broke. It was so thin. I had it for so long, but I still have the pearls. Maybe I should make it whole again. The use of different fingers with the mala. Each finger you use relates to a different part of the brain. By running the mala over the first segment of each finger between the tip of the fingers and the first knuckle, you create a different result. Index finger, Jupiter, wisdom, knowledge, and prosperity. Middle finger, Saturn, patience. Ring finger, Sun, health, vitality, and strong nervous system. Little finger, Mercury, communication skill and intelligence. Right. How to use a mala. A mala can be used with either hand. Always start with a bead next to the guru bead. As you repeat the mantra with the thumb, move each bead towards the body over the meridian point. Thus, the Guru bead descends and eventually ascends to be the last bead of your meditation. As you hold the Guru bead, repeat your mantra and make a prayer. To begin again, turn the mala around without the help of the other hand. Move the beads toward you and continue. Using your mala with a mantra. When reciting the mantra Satnam, move only one bead for both words. With the mantra Waheguru, move only one bead for the two words. Yeah, for the two, it's the same. You may also use the mantra Satnam, Waheguru, saying them both with a movement of one bead. You may use an affirmation or mantra of your choice. Generally, move one bead for each repetition of the mantra. The recitation of your mantra may be done silently, in a whisper, or out loud. No, out loud. I mean, out loud. I was thinking about sung, but that doesn't say that. But apparently, probably you can. But for specific mala meditations, see Meditations with Mantra. Meditations with Mantra. Chapter, yeah. White Tantric. Oh my. Shall I? It's only a few. Now I will soon end. But I'm so close to the end here, so I'll just keep on going. White Tantric Yoga. White Tantric Yoga is an integral part of Kundalini Yoga experience, of the Kundalini Yoga experience. There is one essential difference from other Kundalini Yoga meditations. White Tantra Yoga cannot be practiced under any circumstances without the guidance of the Mahatantric. Is there anyone now then that is that? I don't think so. I haven't heard that. Well, maybe there is. White Tantric Yoga courses are being facilitated all over the world on a regular basis. The resources chapter. In addition, there are the 3-day White Tantric courses of the winter and summer solstices in Florida and New Mexico, and at the Yoga Festival in France. I don't know if this still is actually happening, but these courses also offer opportunities for networking and community building. Since ancient times, humans have found that they have zillions of thoughts, billions of feelings, millions of emotions, thousands of desires, hundreds of fantasies, and multi-realities and personalities. Ultimately, our mind and thoughts rule us and bog us down. We try every method available to get rid of this pressure because it is eating us up inside. White Tantric Yoga enables you to break through those subconscious blocks so you can enjoy life in the shortest time. You can experience release from a lot of the burden and extra weight that you carry in your head. As you see and act on each moment with clarity, you will gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your life will change. Your mind, body, and soul act together as one. This is the path to personal freedom and awareness and will bring more success to every area of your life, says Yogi Bhajan. Okay, I will read it, but I'm not sure still that it actually is active, but what to expect. White Tantric Yoga is done in pairs as a group meditation. You will sit facing a partner and follow instructions for meditation given on videotape by the Mahan Tantric Yoga Bhajan. Maybe that is still going on. Every course is facilitated in person by a representative of the Mahan Tantric, so probably this can be done then. Each course consists of between 6 and 8 kriyas each day. A kriya is a meditation incorporating a yoga posture or a hand position, a mental focus, and or a mantra. Sometimes the meditations are accompanied by music. These kriyas vary in length from 11 to 62 minutes. There are breaks between each kriya. The environment is peaceful and the atmosphere is friendly, supportive, and uplifting. Envision the energy of the universe as parallel or perpendicular in nature, like a cloth woven together. As a cloth becomes stronger when it is stretched on the diagonal, and so does the white tantric diagonal, or Z energy, strengthening the participants. This energy, when directed by the Mahantantric, cuts through the blocks that are stuck in the subconscious mind. Using the diagonal Z as the in the alphabet. Energy. The Tantric Yoga Bhajan connects his subtle body to the subtle bodies of the participants through the course facilitator. About the Tantric Yogi Bhajan became a master of Kundalini Yoga at the age of 16 in his native India. He came to the West in 1968. The authority to be the Tantric master of the White Tantra Yoga was bestowed on him in 1971 when the presiding Tantric Lama Lilampu of Tibet passed from his body. There is only one Tantric in any given time. White Tantric Yoga was a tradition passed on from teacher to student in a mystical and selective way. As a pioneer of this age, Yogi Bhajan decided to open the experience of White Tantric Yoga to everyone who wanted this powerful experience. Preparing for White Tantric Yoga, there is no prerequisites for participating in White Tantric Yoga. Beginners will tune into their internal energies and enjoy a deep and sometimes challenging meditative experience. More advanced meditators will deepen their experience and make new inroads to their spiritual awareness. Wear loose, comfortable white clothing. White combines all colors and enhances the magnetic field and auric strength. Bring a white cotton head covering which will stay securely on your head during the exercises. Wear shoes that slip on and off easily. White Tantric Yoga is practiced with the feet uncovered. Bring a blanket or sheepskin to sit on and light blanket to cover yourself with during relaxation periods. Because this is a cleansing process, you will be asked to drink water. White, not red or black. White Tantric Yoga should not be confused with black or red Tantric. These forms of yoga also transforms energy, but in a different way and for different purposes. Black Tantric directs the energy to manipulate another human being, and red Tantric directs the energy solely for sexual purposes. In 1971, Yogi Bhajan offered the first White Tantric Yoga course in Los Angeles. In 1986, he traveled throughout the world, presenting as many as 30 White Tantric Yoga courses each year to thousands of students. In 1987, using his unique abilities as a master, together with modern technology, he began to present White Tantric Yoga as a videotaped series. The beauty of White Tantric Yoga is that it is subtle, it is exalting, and it works to give you the mastery of life, he says. Right, whoa. Yogi Bhajan on the Tantric and subtle body. Summer Solstice 1988. The subtle body and the Tantric lives as an everlasting factual fact. Why is this so? It is a privilege to tune into. It is surprising to me that people do not understand the simple formula of how the subtle bodies work. The subtle body gives the opportunity to understand and master the subtlety of life. It can help you to understand what is going on around you. Basically, you have to understand that electricity is created by rotation and cross rotation of the electromagnetic field, and this field works from one place to another. It means there is no distance. That's the principle behind wireless telephones. That is why within my lifetime I am trying to educate you, because there can only be one Tantric, and God knows on whom this crown shall be bestowed or whether it will be or not. To protect you, to save you, and make you understand, I'm using a very attained power of mine as Tantric and master of Kundalini Yoga. I am mixing both. Okay, that's some other tradition. I didn't know that. Because ordinarily, Kundalini Yoga could not be taught openly and freely to all people all the time. A person had to qualify, initiate himself, come out to perfection, and then come to meet the master. If the master qualified him, then he gave him the kriya or sadhana to practice. But I openly taught it and survived, so I feel God is very kind and merciful to me, and he wants the mission to be complete. Yeah, it was said that he wouldn't live to the next birthday or something like that if you do. Anyway, White Tantric Yoga video courses. Understanding the nature of the subtle body gave us the thought about the nature of the tantric energy. We cannot stop tantric energy. We can't. We want to enrich ourselves, we want to grow, and we want to progress. That's why we started using the wireless telephone method through the video courses. Whenever you will come to these courses through the television, you will go through the energy, but your subtle body will tune in with my subtle body. So death for that purpose will never even ever mean a thing. Okay, so they can use it now. But those who will believe that I am dead, I shall be dead for them. And those who shall believe that I live, I shall live 100 times more powerfully, stronger in them than they have ever experienced. With these words, I will like to tell you that we have an everlasting, loving, beautiful relationship here, hereafter, unto infinity, and even beyond that. Believe me, even if you can't believe it, it is true. And I have met him spiritually and Ramdas. Anyways, that was interesting. Yeah, interesting. Celestial communication. Celestial communication is mudra in motion. A tool for mental relaxation. It is meditation with mantra and movement of the arms and upper body. The meaning of the mantra is expressed through movement. The mantra will move the spirit, and at the same time, the head and feeling will be heard. Yogapod describes its impact. Everything comes from stress. If you want to get rid of the inner grown stress, here is one solution. There is no power more than the power of the word. And when the word is formed through the body, the entire being is purified, relaxed. Celestial communication is a sadhana in which you communicate with the infinite God through your body, mind, and soul. You interlock all three. The shabd is there, sound current is there, rhythm is there, projection is there, the mind is there, and the body is there. It is very subtle and effective. This system is given to mankind to excel. It will work wonders with people of all religions and from all places. It is a methodology which will give you a tremendous amount of relief in your inner being. Creativity, when combined with physical, psychological concentration, is in meditation balances the human energy and gives strength to the radiant body. This brings prosperity and success. Celestial communication is our gift to the world. It relaxes the tense parts of the brain through the nerve connections of the tips of the fingers, activating the meridians. The fingers move with the prana to communicate, and this cantaloupe becomes a human brain. The tension of the neural patterns is relieved into a relaxed pattern of its own originality. It is fantastic. It is a fantastic release. The brain comes out of its fatigue, and men can do it. And men can do it. It's not only for ladies. How does he mean that then? I don't know. In the last days of the journey of my life, all the knowledge which has been carried from the great masters, I would like to leave a record to share with you. That is the best present I can give you. You will have something to pass on to those who follow you, and from then onward, the generations shall benefit from it. But you have to practice it, experience it, understand it, share it, and enjoy it. These songs and music are like time capsules for the coming generations to follow, sing, and enjoy. Celestial communication videotapes are available through Ancient Healing Ways. Okay. But then we have only two more pages. What? I feel a little bit tired now. Satnam Rasayan. Deep relaxation is the true identity. Satnam Rasayan means deep relaxation in the true identity. It is an ancient healing art. The purpose of Satnam Rasayan, I think you said, anyway, is to serve humanity. Satnam Rasayan works on, it feels like I should say it a different way, maybe Rasayan, no, I don't know, works on a subtle level through the projective mind, to projective meditative mind. Satnam Rasayan, or however you say, allow the healer to access and balance the five elements: air, earth, ether, fire, and water, and the pranic body. Satnam Rasayan is part of the Golden Chain, the experience and mastery of the sacred space. The meditative projective mind was passed on by Yogi Bhajan to Guru Dev Singh Khalsa, who has developed the school of Satnam Rasayan to codify and establish a modality for teaching this sacred healing art. You can find classes and practices of Satnam Rasayan in many cities worldwide, many with ties to Kundalini Yoga communities. Yeah, all right. Even if you do not plan to become a healer, Satnam Rasayan is a great tool to add to your Kundalini Yoga teaching skills. A Satnam Rasayan course taught by Gurudev Singh Khalsa typically includes Kundalini Yoga and meditation and awareness increasing meditation practices. The exercises done by healer and client help participants experience directly their own capacity to open, stabilize, and become aware of the sensitive space and ultimately the sacred space. Satnam Rasayan will enhance your awareness of your subtle body and expand the capacity of your meditative mind. This develops your ability to hold a space when you teach Kundalini Yoga classes and opens your compassionate awareness so you can be sensitized and present to each student in your class. Oh, maybe I should need this. Gurudev Singh has said that if you're able to become nothing and reach the state Yogi Bhajan calls Shunya, God himself will grab you and you will become his servant. As the Satnam Rasayan healer practitioner, you will learn the nature of surrender, and then the sacred space starts to serve you. Beautiful. The mind of the Satnam Rasayan practitioner can become transcendent, and in the vastness of this consciousness, healing can occur. Yeah. This state is a pure meditative absorption between the practitioner and client in the divine. Gurudev Singh, in the age of Pisces, humans approached God, making an effort to cleanse and purify themselves in every way. Now, in the age of Aquarius, it is God who approaches humankind, and we need only to be aware of it and allow it to happen. Spiritual practices are no longer as rigid or difficult as before. They are, however, more subtle. In this age, it is not a question of trying to know no, but rather of recognizing that knowledge is already within us. Venus Kriyas. Venus Kriyas are Kundalini Yoga exercises done with a partner, usually a partner of the opposite sex. Although Venus Kriyas are less intense than Tantric Yoga, they fall into the category of a more advanced Kundalini Yoga practice. Because they intensify the experience of the exercise through the polarities of the male-female interaction. Therefore, it is important to adhere closely to the following guidelines when teaching Venus Kriyas. Always tune in with Om Namo Gurudev Namo before practicing Venus Kriyas. Do not line the students up in lines as in Tantric Yoga. Two people can sit together anywhere. If you line up, then the energy is shaped diagonally. That is not the intention of Venus Kriyas. The energy is only intended to be shared between partners. Oh, yeah. Venus Kriyas should never be done to sensually or sexually seduce one's partner. Explain to the students the importance of approaching these exercises with neutrality and purity. If done with the wrong intention, they lose their effectiveness, and in fact, it can cause more damaging than helpful. Limit the exercises to 3 minutes unless specifically taught otherwise by Yogi Bhajan. Yogi Bhajan has said that doing these kriyas correctly for 3 minutes and no more than 3 minutes is very lucky. Do not teach Venus kriyas in beginning class. Oh God, am I reading now what I shouldn't anyway? Or as a class with even one or two beginner students. Maybe I should not read this out loud even.
Reserve Venus Kriyas only for those with Kundalini Yoga experience. Use your judgment to assess when you students have the discipline to practice Venus Kriyas without sexual connotations. I wonder, those who have listened to now, maybe they have the capacity, I don't know. Venus Kriyas are not to be done by pregnant women. Okay. See meditation with mantra chapter for examples for Venus. I should just not do that. And then we have this weird, not weirdness, I shouldn't say, but I will just say it, which I don't use, but since all the controversy and everything, but it is probably used in many other ways. But here is an image of him there. Tratakum, gazing meditation. This form of meditation, which involves gazing, is a powerful technique that focuses pranic energy and increases the ability to concentrate. The pranic energy gives life to the atom, all matter, and the mind. The general technique of gazing is called tratakum area. The stories around gazing are many, and the simple truths are well obscured. Tratakum is a powerful technique to focus energy and increase the ability for concentration. The eyes do not act simply like a camera. Instead, they constantly scan and interpret the sense data. Patterns, for instance, mandalas, stabilize the eye movements. Where there is such organization, the eyes stay in motion to establish order. They do not interact passively with the world of the senses. Also, the eyes reflect the internal world of your body and tensions. An iridologist can analyze your health and past record of diseases by looking at the structure and coloration of the iris. A spiritual man can tell how open and accomplished you are by the pranic glow from your eyes. As the different facets of an object of concentration present themselves to you, you actually experience different facets of your own self. Yeah, I believe in this though. The outer object is nothing but a gateway to the many facets of your self experience. It is, in a real sense, you become what you meditate on. In White Tantric Yoga, the eye into eye contact by partners is essential to completing the energy flow, but the practice is so powerful it cannot be practiced without the presence of the Mahantantric who separates the energies of the individuals. Otherwise, there is a chance in Tantric Tratakam that the mental merger is so complete that the individual identity may be confused. Guru Yoga. In the yogic scriptures, it said, even a glance from the eyes of a holy man can cure mental and physical imbalances. If you identify a new quality in an object of meditation, you have contacted and brought out that quality in yourself. For these reasons, pictures of saints and objects of inspiration have always been subjects of meditation. If you pick a saintly person and meditate to experience his qualities of humility, service, and healing, you learn to express these qualities in yourself. But there is a level beyond this. Not all pictures have the same effect, even if the pictures are of the same person. One picture may show happiness, another sadness, and another contemplation. Meditation on each will provide those qualities. It is extremely rare for any master to give a photo that shows neutrality and a direct stare from the eyes. This is the only type of picture suitable for Tratakam. Yogi Bhajam, people will enjoy beaming who have meditated on the picture of mine. Not all pictures do something, however weird the particular practice is. Sometimes you don't like it, that's the only picture that works. All other pictures can do nothing. That's the only one. What should I do? Some people complain to me, Yogi, your other pictures are more beautiful, but I say I can't help it. Sometimes non-beautiful things are required too. Yeah. In such a photo, it is impossible to get stuck on the level of personality. In fact, since it is neutral, the photo will be both impersonal and personal. It will reflect you better than a mirror. In a mirror, you can fool yourself with your own face. In the Guru Yoga photo, you cannot. In such a photo, there must also be light in the eyes of the teacher. A photo with a direct stare of neutrality can heal and give you the instant ability to contact your own higher guidance. We are fortunate to have such a picture of the Mahan Tantric. If it is meditated on properly and seriously, the karmas can be erased and the individual destiny expanded. Mhm. Teachers are connected by the golden chain onto infinity. Guru Yoga always allows you, Guru Yoga allows you to ascend the golden chain. It is an action done with humility. Nothing else has the value of this meditation. It is a must for any student or teacher of Kundalini Yoga, as taught by Yogapod, to have an experience of this. The practice is called mental beaming. It gives the mind the ability to project to infinity through the creative power of the imagination. Wow. Soon it's like 3:33. Wow. For instance, for instructions on how to do Taco meditations, a full-size copy of Yogi Bhajan's tantric picture, as well as other Taka meditations. See meditations without mantra chapter, blah blah. Photo can be purchased by Ancient Healing Ways. See resource chapters. Okay, so now I will end that. Wow, this was not as short as I thought it would be. Whoa, I have some phone calls to do now. Whoa. I hope this gives anyone something. Maybe you have some questions, and I'm not sure I could answer those, but this was fun. So I will try to end. I will just wait to 3:33 for some reason or another. Wow. Well, no one was in here asking for cards. That's good. Then I read some of the things that I study. That's good. And some of it actually, yeah, I actually got it. Yeah, and I hope it really gives something else, something also. No, actually, that's not the point. But I hope it does. I'm sure it does when whomever comes across it and feels inspired. It is inspiring. So whenever. But for me, it was more so that I actually read it concentrated. If I sit quietly and read, I could read out loud for myself, but it's so boring. It feels better to actually share it then. But yeah, so actually I did it for myself. But we are one, so whatever. Yeah. Well, I hope someone get in here and get something out of this, maybe, or not. Whatever is the best will be. Yeah. So now I'm getting closer to 3:33 here. And maybe it looks differently for you if the counting seems to vary from what I see. But now it's 33, no, at 3:32:47. So very, very soon we are there. I will just say that and then end afterwards. I would want to end exactly then. I don't know how to manage that actually, because whenever you do stop, it seems like I will try it like 5 seconds before. Maybe that will work. Maybe we will try. Because it seems like, however, I try to be exact on the numbers, that never works. It's not meant to work then. 5 seconds seems like a long time before. Okay, I will try that anyways.